side in the middle. Got told it hurts a little for a while, and it'll be a trip down that road I've been running all my life. Now I'm suddenly straying, and all of me is telling me gotta get out of my way, ready to be wide awake. Get out of my own cage, I just wanna escape. Every little breath I take makes me wanna recreate everything I've ever known is fading. You and me are not so crazy. All we do is slightly changing, finding out the us we're chasing. We're chasing, we're taking shape.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? We're back for the second half of the second semi-final of the Quantex Captain's Draft. I'm here with OBK99. My name is Squavo. Oshin, you there?
Yep, I'm there.
All right. So as we currently stand, the series finished at 2-1 due to some unforeseen circumstances, and we're here today to finish them. So Oshin, what do you think about this series so far?
Well, it's been a pretty interesting series. The first two games being relatively quick in favor of Arcane's Angels, although we did see Dirty Threshy's team come back in game three to clutch that, make that sure it wasn't a 3-0. And I think, to be fair, they played a lot better in that third game. And I look forward to seeing what they can do in this game now that they're down two games. And the next game will cost them the final spot if they
Yeah,
lose.
yeah, for sure. It's gonna be it feels like maybe Team Dirty Pikey might we can hope that they keep their momentum from the other day. But it's kind of hard. You get the momentum going on the day, and then suddenly the series has to stop due to some unforeseen circumstances, and it's kind of a question of, do you lose your momentum over time? Because it's kind of like a fresh reset for everyone. It feels like maybe the pressure is a lot more on Team Dirty Pikey, even though they won the last game. It is only one game for them. That once they lose it, they're gone. So even though they did win the last game in the series, it might not feel like it for them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, I also think Arcane's Angels do have a bit of pressure on themselves because they are the team two games up in this. They are the team that, what have we seen from this team so far, are expected to take this next game and go through. And especially if they lose this game to Dirty Threshy's team, this could really cause an upset in the mentals and really probably cause a little switch up on the momentum of the series.
Yeah. If I had to ask you real quick, who do you think so far is the MVP of the series? If you can remember back to the last day.
See, I'm not too sure because Ragnar played out of his mind, and I think in the first couple of games in this. And if Arcane's Angels do end up taking it, I could see it either going towards Ragnar or even Arcane. But I'm not too sure because I was looking at the other team now. Who would I have if this does go forward? We go to a game five and Dirty Threshy's team wins. Who would you think could be the MVP for that?
For Team Dirty Threshy, that's a good question. I do think that Talking needs a mention for being able to pick up their Xi so quickly, and just kind of stomping that third game. He seemed like the better part of the jungle for most of that game. You associate Taki with the Kindred, and he plays in Sejuani, when he can't get that. But for him to be able to adapt to switch to a completely new carry champion when he needed to carry a game, I think he definitely deserves some credit. I think Dirty Threshy himself played really well on that Soraka in Game 3. But I think we do need to see more of this team going forward because they have dropped their first two games of the tournament. And, when the pressure's really on, it's going to be up to them today. And some players in particular to really step up. One of these guys needs to prove to me that they deserve the MVP of the series, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I was funny you should mention Dirty Threshy there because I do think in the first couple of games, I'm not gonna say he was disappointing on the Thresh when he got the Thresh, but it was a bit more underwhelming than what I'd expect a player of that caliber playing on his main or his second main champion to play as it. Because I saw some pretty interesting cues he shouldn't have taken, which ended up costing his team a lot of those team fights in game two, and especially in game one as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's they did get that really early lead in game one where they were just pummeling Dakin, and Dakin away to pair, and they couldn't really translate that lead. So maybe himself and Postman Pat can maybe adapt to it because they can play the Thresh. I know they can play the Thresh, but it'll be really interesting to see if they can translate a Thresh lead in lane because they did get a lead despite their questionable plays. If they can translate that lead with the lethality Varus and Thresh into a game win rather than just a lane win that Dakin can recover from,
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Especially we've seen that Dirty Threshy Pokemon are the stronger duo bot lane, but as we saw game one, if Dakin and Way the pair just sit back under turret and farm up and don't let Dirty Threshy Pokemon Pat scale this into a mid game spike and take these early dragons, it's pretty tough for them to push this further and take these objectives. And it seems that as an overall 5-man unit, Arcane's team seemed to be playing better, although this was at the last stream like a week ago nearly. They did appear to be playing a lot better at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I do think Postman Pat definitely does need a mention for his performance in Game 3. The way that he was able to kite out the Red Spectre's Nasus and also the jungler, it can't come to me what that jungler was. but I do remember his kiting being like insanely gone that misfortune. And I definitely think that he's in the running if Team Dirty Threshy does end up taking the series. He's definitely in the running for MVP because he's like shown like a really good performance. You know, he won lane in game 1 and he was able to win the game in game 3. Practically, you know, he doesn't really get the most support from time to time, but like he was like kiting like solo into that Nasus, and I think he definitely does deserve a mention as a possible MVP if they do win this game.
Yeah, for sure, but that's kind of I don't know. I think that is true, but it's what you expect of an AD carry of that caliber. That's why I think in terms of Ragnar being a gold 1 jungler, playing at these diamond players and was a master tier support, he's just playing very well considering the circumstance.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely agree with you. His pathing along with his gank times have been like especially impressive. You know, like he seems to like have a keen eye for when the ganks are available. And I do remember him pulling off many ganks into wards against bot lane. So it just kind of shows like he was playing the Trundle. It shows his ability on his Trundle, and I do think that if he can pick this up going forward, then they could be in for a really good time.
Yeah, and we were just after seeing there after Arcane uploading. I think they're gonna let him go here, but yeah, are we seeing here? We might be getting into the game here. All players seem to be ready. Just wondering what the hold up is right now to get into this game.
Yeah. I will check on it there just really quickly. It seems as if we might have a bit more time. I'm not sure if they will get into order, but if they do, blue team is in order. I don't know if red team will bother, but I'm excited, man. I'm quite excited to see how this series shakes out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun one, and even if this goes to one game, it'll be a really explosive game anyway. Because I think people like there's just so much pressure already going into this game, being 2-1 down or 2-1 up from both teams here.
Yeah, for sure. And this is for a spot in the final up against Team Put Bacon on Vegan. And I might. Oh, we're getting into draft. Actually, we don't have time for more questions.
Sorry. Alrighty.
So here we are.
I didn't look back at the bans now from games 1 and 2. I'm not too sure about yourself here, but I do know it was a lot of Red Spectre bans, and I did see a fair few. The Vladimir seemed to be taken off no matter where they were. Vladimir seemed to be a very prominent ban, red side or blue side.
Yeah, that's true. The Kindred obviously has 100% bans. They don't want Talkie-Walkie on it. I do think Talkie is a diamond level player when he's playing his Kindred, and it's his one trick, and I don't think any team can ever let that through, because he definitely does have the ability to just take over a game when he's on that champion.
Pike taken away here now against Dirty Threshy, followed up by the Yuumi. The Yuumi actually, thinking about picks that were very prominent. Game 1 especially, that Yuumi did a serious amount of work. I'd like to see that taken away from Pear.
So we have a situation here where, depending on what Dirty Threshy bans here, if he doesn't ban Misfortune or Vladimir, then we might have a trade of picks. I'm not too sure if Arcane does want to play it right away, but I do know Suck for Blood does want to play it as it goes through. So there's going to be a trade of picks here. I'd say either a Misfortune pick or a Vladimir pick. We do see the Vladimir, so I do hope that they lock in Misfortune here.
Yeah, they banned away the Varus, so I'm assuming they're trying to take Dakin off comfort by giving them the Vladimir. Maybe they have a pick prepared against it. It's been a while, and they just take a strong lane like Misfortune Leona, or, well, no. Yeah, Misfortune Leona isn't too bad here as well, or a Misfortune Thresh, because Thresh is open as well for Dirty Threshy.
Yeah. We might see a Misfortune. I assume that we will see. They're just discussing how their draft wants to go. They do pick the Misfortune, and I think maybe they might mid lane counterpick, but I'm not sure. Maybe they don't want to do it until they get. They do go for the Rek'Sai, so Taki again taking it into his own hands. The carry jungler that we've wanted to see him on. He has been stuck on the Sejuani and the Jarvan for the majority of the tournament, and last game in Game 3 he really took the game into his hands on that Rek'Sai, so we are going to see it again.
He stole Baron that game and they won off it, yeah. That was a really good pick.
Now it's up to Ragnar and Arcane for the next picks. As we see a Victor. A flex pick. Maybe it's it could be Spectre's Vlad top. What do you think?
Yeah, Spectre. I was about to say it's a flex pick between Arcane and Red Spectre, and Red Spectre is very comfortable on Vladimir anyway. Although I think it does also give Ragnar a chance to play another AD jungler, perfect fit for the Trundle. But I think if they don't take support here for weighted pair like the Jan or Nami, that's just going to get banned out second rotation immediately.
Yeah, they pick Sejuani, so they do want that tank in their team. It gives Team Dirty Pikey a chance to ban those caster supports, as you say, unless they want to take Dakin even further off comfort. maybe they have a bit of scouting done on Dakin's AD pool, and they want to take him even farther away from what he normally plays.
Well, double AP solo lanes and a tank jungler means they're going to need a lot of AD from Disco Dakin.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
Interesting what he'll take here.
We see the Ornn out in the top lane. Now, I know that Ornn has been pretty prominent in most games in this tournament. What do you yourself think about that Ornn pick?
I like the Ornn especially when you've taken something like the Misfortune at the Rek'Sai, because they just scale so well with Ornn items, so that even though they're still grand later on, it just pushes the team into being a super scaling team and pretty much a race against the button at like level 13 and 14. That makes their mid game so strong.
Yeah, as you predicted, that Nami pick is banned straight away. Oh, actually, I have seen something in chat. Maybe it doesn't really play to the AD, but a Cog Lulu here would not go astray for Dakin.
Weighted Pair does play it as well, actually. Yeah, Lulu is one of the ones he used to play, so I'd be interested to see what he takes.
Yeah,
although Lulu Cog, he has to pilot it well. Sorry about it.
That's true. No, you're fine. We do see a LeBlanc ban. We saw Suck for Blood on that in game 3, the game they won the other day, and kind of infamously there was a clip of him doing some questionable plays, but aside from that, he did play very well throughout the majority of the game. So this is pretty good for him, and I do want to see him. Well, I would have wanted to see him on the LeBlanc, but they do take it off the table. Their scouting has been done to be sure. There will be a Dirty Threshy ban here, and it will be a Morgana. So we do see another caster support off the table. So Weighted Pair, what do you think he strays towards, if not the Lulu?
Janna's open anyway, and that's one of his most picked anyway. That's what he abused to Diamond. So I'd imagine he would look to either take the Janna here, or I would actually assume, even though he hasn't played it in a while, Lulu would be pretty good. Lulu Karma.
Yeah.
Although maybe Graves AD. We could see. I did ask Dak and he didn't respond now, but the Graves AD carry is still up, and he did absolutely demolish when he got it.
Yeah. We will see a pick here. I'm excited. I would have thought the Funeral Witch would have been more of a carry-orientated player, but he will be playing the Ornn in this game. And I do think that he'll do it well, but I think Vladimir versus Ornn is a bit of a nothing matchup, as we'd see a Kassadin hover and a Kassadin pick.
Oh, Jesus, a bit of scaling, and it's going to be nutty. I don't think I've seen Suck for Blood plays Kassadin, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you do go for that level 16, it does kind of match up to the Vladimir scaling, that they both are kind of in a race to see what early leads they can get to have a slight advantage over the other going into the scaling game.
And I see the Aphelios locked in by Dakin. This is an interesting one. I don't think I've seen it. I was talking about a few of the AD carries in this, throughout this, and I think Aphelios is really underutilized by a lot of teams considering his strengths. I know the ones I've spoken to are, like Muscle Memory, wouldn't necessarily like to play the Aphelios into that, because they just don't have the necessarily mechanics, or just they don't really want to learn the champion. But Dakin really wants to do this.
And a Blitzcrank last pick. We often talk about comps and which one do we favor. In this game, we talked about it for the last 3 games in a row, so we might as well talk about it here. What comp do you think has the easiest win cons and the avenue to success?
See, I would look at blue side for the Vladimir Victor, because we did see Arcane melt games 2 on the Victor, although I really like how easy red team's comp is to utilize with the just get MF ahead and scale Kassadin. They do have a bit of early for early dragon congestion with the Rek'Sai, but they also have a lot of scaling, especially with the Kassadin Ornn. Those Ornn items come in huge, and level 16 Spike will be. I don't think there's too much that can match him. You can get on Aphelios easy if he doesn't have Severum, and unless Victor pulls him with Gravity or Vladimir managed to pull, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, we are going to go for a quick break as we await the spectator delay, but when we come back, we will have Game 4 of Arcane's Angels versus 30 Pikey. Don't go away.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you play for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll rot into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to touch our dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. When the world is calling out your name, begging you to fight. Pick yourself up once more. Pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name?
And we are back as I press play. I'm on 3 seconds, Oshin.
2, 3.
Oh, skip forward like 4 seconds.
Yep. 5, 6, 7.
I'm more on like 12, 13, 14.
16, 17.
Yeah, that'll do.
Alright, cool.
And we go again, as I have to change my thing also. Oops, sorry boys. As we go again, we see a general spread, I think. Oshin, I was surprised to not see the Victor banned after how dominant it was.
Yeah, I'm a bit interested, especially getting the Vladimir through as well. We did know Spectre was going to play it as well, so I was a bit surprised to see that it actually got through first and second rotation and got picked.
Yeah, I do think that I think the red team team comp has a lot of promise. I hope that they can get ahead bot lane, because that'd be really exciting as we see a cheeky blue side invade. I do hope with the Blitzcrank, because the Blitzcrank is always a bit of a risky pick, but with Dirty Thresh's experience on the Thresh and also the Pike, I think he can pull it off. As we see an early play gone astray.
Early miss hook though, showing those mechanics.
Yeah, just as I say, a bit of a caster's curse there, but I do think that they will be able to get a lead with the experienced postman pad and Dirty Threshy. It's just a matter of executing on those mechanics, I guess, with those Blitzcrank hooks.
The one I think who we should really watch out for throughout this whole thing will be Disco Dak and to see what he can do in the Aphelios, because it's a much harder champ to pilot than the Misfortune. Like a lot of like variables and gun swapping to make sure he gets the maximum damage out of it. I'd be interested to see if he can do it, or if he's just going to play it like a generic, he's just a generic autoing AD carry and not necessarily use a lot of this.
Yeah, I have seen him pilot it in the past. I think I played against it in a scrim, or like a pickup custom, and he didn't really, Dakin, the way he plays bot lane, he doesn't like to aggress early. He's a big fan of the cull, and he likes, going even in lane and then using his CS mechanics, I suppose, over the enemy to gain leads. I think I'd be surprised if he doesn't buy a cull in this matchup and just try to go even. But I don't think we're going to be seeing him try to solo kill his opponent anytime soon. I think it's just going to be a farm fest. If not, Dirty Threshy and Postman Pat will have the advantage as they aggress.
Yeah, no dashes in his kit anyway, so it'll be a lot easier to target for the Blitzcrank.
Yeah. We do see top lane with Funeral Wish and Red Spectre there. We got a glimpse of it as Spectre's wave is building up. I think maybe Funeral Witch might be giving a bit too much respect to Vladimir, considering its lack of power early, but I guess he just doesn't want to get poked out. Maybe try and set up a top lane gank for Takiwaki as he tries to hold the wave there.
Maybe wait until level 3, I'm not too sure actually.
Thank you, Lemonwire, for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. Oh, we see a gank.
Oh, flash from Disco. Dakin comes through here. Heal's still available to him. Rek'Sai is going to knock up Ragnar, is taken quite low, forced to flash, and I think Takiwaki's going to die here. And yeah, first blood going over to Lulu. Bit of a fail flash. Lulu does exhaust Dirty Threshy, taking the terror shot, and she's not going to die for it.
We see another example of Ragnar's pathing here in this game. For a Gold 1 player, he's definitely been... we can see that he's a big fan of bottling ganks, and he's really been showing it in this series, like, from the last 3 games and here again. He wants to get Dakin ahead, and it's clear to see, he goes over the wall with Sejuani, taking a bit of a risk in a 3v3 against the Rek'Sai. It's always a bit of a toss-up against the Rek'Sai if he can get the target that he wants, but he picked on the Sejuani there, and the Sejuani with the Aftershocks just too tanky for him to take out, and it just ends up with... Well, it was a bit of a mess there near the end with the flashes. We do see an advantage for blue side early.
Yeah, first blood going over to Lulu. I would prefer to have it on Dakin, but it's nice he got the assist, and as well as the Sejuani getting it as well.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I mean, we talked about Dakin, and he doesn't really want to fight 2v2 early, but he'll definitely take those 3v3s if his jungler is there, because this team seems to be able to impact them.
And here we see Takiwaki trying to go in on Red Spectre. Just a bit of a ras happening. Funeral Witch is out of mana, so we can't really do too much. Although Ragnar is here to lend a hand. Takiwaki does have the full stacks of fervor. He's taken quite low here. I think he might just die. He does get rooted from the Sejuani. Red Spectre might try and take this kill, but I think Ragnar might have to take it himself, and he does, and that's a kill for Ragnar.
I think maybe Ragnar just might have Taki's number here in the early game. They both go for 2 similar ganks at the same time. They seem to be mirror pathing themselves, where they just they always want to gank the same lanes, and Ragnar has the early advantage there. Funeral Witch was out of mana and a bit low on health. He had no resources to be able to help that gank there, and so in the end he was just pinging assists because there was nothing that he could do, and it gives an early advantage to the Vladimir and the bot lane, and it spells a bit of early disaster for Team Dirty Pikey.
Yeah, your early game jungler being 2 kills behind at 5 minutes is really not what you want to try and do, especially with the dragon being Infernal, first one up as well. I would not want to be Takiwaki, but the hook does connect. Dakin does take a terror shot, and that's going to be a kill in return for Postman Pat.
I think that's just a bit of disrespect shown by Dakin there, as we might see another engage, but we don't. He was standing away from his minion wave, just like trying, basically just saying hook me, and then once he got hooked, he takes the tower shot, and there's nothing he can do. Towers early levels just do so much damage. He had no way out there, and it's just a bit of disrespect, I think, shown to the enemy bot lane. I wouldn't have thought that would be like a play that he would go for. I think that he just want to get the wave and back, but clearly there he's fancying himself today, and it just doesn't work out there.
Postman Pat gonna get a much better back off now with the 1700 gold he's got saved up there.
Yeah, for sure. He takes an early 300 gold lead on his bot lane compatriot. I do like Misfortune with a lot of gold, because we've seen Pat's experience on the champion in the last game, and it's gonna be kind of rough for like the likes of Sejuani and the Lulu to deal with a fed misfortune. Albeit he's not fed yet, but I think they could really use this advantage with the Blitzcrank to just keep getting more picks like those and going for it again as we see a fight in the top lane.
Yeah, we also see blue team doing dragon while this is happening. I don't think red team knows this is happening yet. I think they're all rotating down, but I think it's kill it to contest. Yeah, blue team gonna take first dragon.
Yeah, that's our first dragon in this game as we see a fight in the mid lane maybe.
Oh, Ragnar gonna go in there. Ulti popped from Arcane. It's Gala and 3 people. Suffer Bud does knock up, and Ragnar is dead. Suffer Bud is exhausted, forced to flash. Arcane taken quite low here. Has no flash up himself. Postman Pack gonna chase forward. Q gonna pick himself up. A nice little kill. Aphelios does have the chakram to do massive auto damage. Talkie-walkie quite low here. And the turret does come out, and Lulu picks up the kill onto Talkie, unfortunately, though.
Yeah, Dakin just able to stack his gun infinitely there as Pat does get picked off there by the Lulu, and it's not the wisest thing to fight into Dakin when he has those 2 guns. Those 2 in particular are maybe the highest damage output that you can get for like close-up fights like that. And so we saw Suck for Blood wasn't able to like kill him straight away on the flash, which kind of forced Pat to go and nearly kill himself almost there to try and kill Arcane. It is gold into the pockets of the Caston along with Misfortune again, so it's not the worst trade that's ever been taken, but it does spell like a 1.3k gold deficit for them. They have more of an early game jungler, which doesn't look too good for them as they play into the Sejuani, which kind of just scales up to be like a monster tank. But as long as he can keep kind of doing proactive things, there's always avenues for him to get back to the game, and it's definitely not over yet.
No, definitely not. Although 3 kills sitting on that Lulu, maybe we might see some heavy AP. Rabadon's Death Cap or Azanya's,
Yeah, for sure. But I do like that both these people are both the mid laners are playing scaling mid laners, because it kind of it's an opportunity to them to both like express themselves skill wise, because while Castle might not be the most skill expressive, it's more the positioning that you get into later on where you can really like make those big plays for your team. And that Caston has so much carry potential that if they just get him to level 16, he might be able to do bits into the Vladimir and the Victor.
And Funeral Wish just gonna escape there. Fred Spectre having to blow his ulti. Call of the Forge God going to be popped onto Ragnar. And she is getting ulted by the Sejuani, taken quite low here. Rek'Sai's not around, but he does pick himself up a nice kill onto Ragnar in response. 1v2, flash from Spectre, but he doesn't see Talkie-walkie's there. Dirty Threshy missing the hook bot lane. Dakin pops the ulti, knocked up by Blitzcrank, but he's gonna get killed. Doesn't manage to pop the Q on Gravitum. And Dirty Threshy pops the ultimate. And you see topside that nothing happened after that. I think he did get the kill onto Red Spectre, actually, my mistake.
Yeah, Red Spectre does fall there to Taki, and that's a huge play by Funeral Witch there. He gets the 1 for 2. He's able to stall out long enough for Talkie-walkie to show up and kill Spectre. He forces Spectre's flash under the tower to be able to kill him, and that's... Oh, we see...
Oh, what a golden. Ragnar's here to try and do something, and Dirty Threshy does go down. But that was a really nice stopwatch from White Pair.
Yeah, that stopwatch does end up getting them the kill there. Ragnar, kind of just easy pickings for them. Maybe they Dirty Threshy and Postman Pat overextend a little bit. They kind of had no right to be in that position where they didn't have any vision on their on the enemy jungler, and it's just easy pickings again for Sejuani, who's scaling up to be a monster tank, as we see it again. But Pat does have lots of gold in his pocket. We see him with a 700 gold lead on Dakin. And he's kind of in the position where he wants to be. He's got lots of gold on the Misfortune, and he has the ability to carry alongside his Castellan, as well as the Ornn. I just think that they've drafted a really good comp if they do get ahead. And we see Castellan just quietly scaling while he is 15 CS down into the Victor. He does have the kill and the assist, as we may see an engaged bot lane here.
Yeah, flash from Jericho Dakin a bit preemptively to make sure he didn't land the hook, though.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the respect flash. When you're in a position like this where you want to win this game, you want to kind of get this series over with. You don't want to be here too long, because you know that next game, if they do lose, the enemy team is going to have blue side advantage most likely. And it's I do like the respect flash, because it doesn't give them unnecessary gold. You don't want to be you never want to be the one that lets your team down. And if you're just giving another kill there to Taki to get back into the game, you're giving it to Pat to give him an even further lead.
Yeah, we do see Blitzcrank landing the hook onto Lulu. Bullet time going to come out. Weighted pair forced ulti himself does fall to Postman Pat. Disco Dakin is still quite slowed here. He did get exhausted, and Takiwaki's going to pick himself up a kill to bring him back into the sit game.
Another huge play there from Dirty Threshy and Taki working in tandem as a jungle support duo. We see Taki, you know, he did get that early game deficit, but he's not let it like tilt him in any way. He's not let it stop him in any way. Bot lane's going to pick up more plates here, and you know, Taki is just getting back into this game. You know, he never let that early deficit bring him down. He's been really proactive making these plays, even like he's been taking those 3v3s against Ragnar, even if he doesn't win them. He's always showed him his like promise as a playmaker in these games, and it's really coming out again in this game.
You see it while this Rift Child's going in topside. Red team are attempting to do Dragon, although they do know that blue team's here, so I don't know if they're going to continue doing this.
Yeah, we do see a Dragon. Ragnar steals!
Might from Ragnar. He's going to get hooked, and he's going to die, and Post Sucker for Blood is going to pick up a kill onto him there. Very nice for the Cassin.
Yeah, that does lead me to a question for you, Oshin. We've seen a lot of teams devalue the first two dragons in these games because they don't like, you know, you can get the soul earlier, but when you're playing like these scaling comps, you've kind of disregarded these first two dragons. So my question to you would be, would you rather that that Ocean Drake that they just picked up, or would you rather have that kill on your Cassin to give him more carry potential?
Kind of depends on the player, to be honest. If you know he's going to solo carry later on, I'm not too sure now about Sucker for Blood's Cassin since I haven't seen it, but if that was like, I don't know, something like a Rwandus is that, I'd rather take the kill onto the Cassin and get the dragons later on.
Yeah, it does spread a lot of gold across the team, and it does, you know, it gives a really big goal lead. Well, they do only have a 700 goal lead, but in these individual players have a lead now as Dirty Threshy hooks.
Disco Dakin is going to get knocked up here. Lulu forced to pop the ultimate in response to ulti from Dakin, doesn't get anything, and he just goes down.
Yeah, they now have a 1k goal lead, and they're looking pretty huge, to be honest, on the scaling comp with the Ornn. They have the Misfortune, they have the Kassadin, they have the late game tools, and they're winning early here into the Victor and Vladimir. Dakin now with 0-4-3, and you know, that's got to feel rough for him.
Yeah, I still stand by that. I wasn't too sure about the Aphelios pick from the start, and I think this just isn't the Dakin style of champion that like wants to go even. It's grand if he has a way of getting out, but like Aphelios, you need to do so much more than just auto in the lane like Misfortune. You can't just like press a nice big ult as utility and just destroy everyone in the back line.
Yeah, I guess that does speak to the draft here from Team Dirty Threshy here. They were fine with giving up the Vladimir. I guess they were confident that the team wouldn't be able to, the other team wouldn't be able to pilot it as well as Sucker for Blood can, and they were willing to give that up to get the Kassadin and get the Misfortune while banning the Varus, take Dakin off comfort, and they're playing into Dakin. They're like, what do you got for us? What are you going to play next? And she brings out the Aphelios, you know, having a bit of confidence in them being 2-1 up, but it hasn't worked out for him so far at all.
I think it's just more necessary the fact that Postman Pat is just, you know, he is an AD carry main player, whereas Dakin did role swap to AD. Like, you can pilot ADs if you were a mid lane going AD carry, but like you wouldn't pilot more different and more unique AD carries unless you did have that kind of, I think personally, that level of experience of playing them.
Yeah, also talking, you know, again, while he wasn't involved in that kill bot, he definitely showed his purpose by, he was present, as we do see a 15-minute Rift Herald, which might not have as much value as, you know, a Rift Herald while plates are up, but it's still a fight.
That's the second Rift Herald as well. We do see Takiwaki getting picked up in the backline. Call of the Forge God is going to collect onto Dakin. Dakin's just dead here, I think.
Dakin picking up the farm as he is solo killed.
Blood going back in and picking himself up. A nice little kill onto Ragnar.
Yeah, they do engage the fight, and they, you know what, they get a kill while two of them die on the top side. They do get a kill bot side. A solo kill from the Ornn there with little to no armor there on the on Dakin there.
Wow, Arcane's taking quite low from this Cassin right now, and he does go back in. Lulu forced to pop the ult. Flash popped in response from Sucker for Blood. Polymorphed to Postman Pat, and he is just going to go down. Red Spectre once more, though. He is pushing forward, and I don't think he's going to get it.
I think maybe Pat showing a bit of disrespect there to the Vladimir. He is level 11, and he did have a you know, he did have his passive fully stacked. He had the empowered Q there, and he got polymorphed by the Lulu. Maybe going in 1v3 there is a bit of disrespect towards Spectre, because he has been a bit inactive this game, being the Vladimir that's scaling up, but he's kind of reached that point, you know.
Oh, flash pops from Funeral Witch to get out of there. Red Spectre's on his own here. We might see a kill for Takiwaki. And he doesn't have his ulti up, does have TP available, does go golden, and I think this is just going to be a free kill for Taki. No, yeah. He heals back up though. Oh my god, that was a literally nearly saved him, I think.
That's what the empowered Vladimir Q will do, but it just stalls out for time. It wastes a bit more of Taki's time, so they're able to herald mid and break open the map for themselves. But it is more it's more money into the pocket of Taki. Maybe you kind of want to be putting it into your late game carries now, as the blue gets invaded. But it's still gold for Taki and Blitzcrank. It's pretty good, as they might look to engage again.
They found Arcane here. He's not going to pop the hook. Yeah, he does connect onto it. Arcane forced to pop the ulti. Doesn't take up anything. He's just going to go down. Call the Forge God bot lane on Disco Dakian. Why is he so far forward on his own? His team aren't there yet. He might go down. He be forced to be popped from Red Spectrum in response. Moonlight Vigil going to be popped from Disco Dakin. Funeral Witch's team are going to come down and lend him a hand. I think he's going to go down for the mark. He is. And another kill onto Suck for Blood here. It's a bloodbath for Red Team, as we do see the mid laner down. Ulti popped from Misfortune. And I think Ragnar is going to continue this forward. He is. Maybe a bit overextended. Dakin does get taken down. Ragnar did get hit with the first pop of Lobe Tap, giving him the extra damage, putting him down there. And that's another kill for Pat. E does land onto Weighted Pair. Weighted Pair taking a lot of damage here. Red Spectre trying to come forward, do something. He does also have the laptop up, and he does pick himself up both of them. That's an unofficial quad. That is a quadra kill for Postman Pat.
A quadra kill from Postman Pat there, showing his confidence, you know. It looked like a good play on Dakin's side. He had overextended. He baited out the TP. Ornn had died. It looked like such a good play, but those crits from MF, who had 6 kills at the time with an Essence Reaver, just picking up every kill that can possibly be picked up there, and that's a huge play for Team Dirty Threshy.
That love tap onto Vladimir, where she swapped the auto, really, like, that pretty much just fucked him at the end there. That was super nice from Postman Pat.
I do want to shout out that hook from Dirty Threshy there. He hooks Red Spectre, who Taki had already ulted, and it got Takiwaki out of the fight, and I do believe he was able to survive that fight. And that was a pretty huge play from Dirty Threshy there with that Blitzcrank hook. Call it unintentional or not, I don't know if he meant it, but he did save his jungler there and really created a great play there for his team.
Yeah, and now I think Red Team are in control here now. They might be 100 gold behind, but they are in a better position to get vision for Baron, which is spawning in the next minute.
Yeah, we do, you know, this MF can really start to take over this game, I think. As long as he doesn't find a way to get one shot by, or focused by Red Spectre and Arcane, I do think that it'll be a very good time for Postman Pat here as he picks up mid lane farm. Along with all those kills that he has, they might look to break open the map here, but there is 4 on the side.
Hook does land onto Dakin as the Moonlight Vigil goes down, forced to pop the Wild Growth on the Lulu, and Dakin just gets blown up here, but Postman Pat is finally taken down. We do see the Chaos Storm onto Dirty Threshy for another kill, double kill for Arcane.
This is what we have to be afraid of for Postman Pat. He can't get caught out by those Sejuani ults. He can't get caught out by those gravity fields. And he, you know, when it comes to those, he kind of just explodes. He does need, I think that Hex Drinker is very wise by. He needs that bit of extra magic shield there. We saw that the blue team was good to rotate there. They really showed their teamwork and their communication, because Spectre was there after the fight was done, but they were looking to make a 5-man play on blues on the mid lane against the red team there, and it does show and play to their communication as a team.
Yeah, I think, though, even after that bad fight, we do see Postman Pat sitting on 2.5 items right now. The only person who can really match that is probably Arcane or Red Spectre. And I think if Arcane goes anywhere far forward, he just gets one shot from the MF auto Q auto.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be rough for him. Arcane does pick up a Lich Bane now, which, you know, that is a lot of the Victor's power, as, no, they're not going to make a play onto mid lane. But they might still try.
Yeah, Dakin forced to go back. He has been found by Red bot lane. We might see a hook from Dirty Threshy, but he does find Red Spectre. Red Spectre proto-belting in here. He does get knocked from the E. Takiwaki is around here to do something in response. Ulti popped by Red Spectre, knocked up. He's got forced to go golden here. Dakin is around. Ragnar and Misfit Pair here. Bullet time coming down to nothing, really.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. That Sonya is so key to that Vladimir kit in the long combos that you can do, where, you know, you just Sonyas, and you know, what's Pat to do there? You can see the rest of the blue team, you know, coming up. You have no choice but to bullet time, and Vladimir's just able to get out straight away.
Yeah, and he does have the double Gravitum auto down. Does slow them, but no one goes in. Response call the Forge God. Not really getting much to neither. Wild Growth coming down onto Disco Dakin. He is just going to push forward, having the slowed autos from Gravitum. And Postman Pat is trying to kill Arcane as he's ulted, but he does go down after the Hex Drinker pop, and Dakin picks up that kill.
Pat with the flash forward, maybe not the wisest thing, but we do see Dakin
one
shot
from Sucker for blood onto Dakin, and he's dead. Knock up from Ornn. Takiwaki's here as well. Ragnar's taken quite low. Lulu's dead. Sucker for blood going in aggressive here onto Red Spectre. And I think he's going to go down. Rift Guak is up in a second, and he does pick it up. Ace for red team.
That is Cassidy. We see Postman Pat flash into the, or just away from the gravity field there to get the last hits on Arcane. And once Arcane's down, sure, what's that comp really to do? If they can't get to the carries, sure, Pat's already dead, and you can see the Cassidy behind you. What are you supposed to do but try and kite out? But Takiwaki there with the ult onto the Ragnar to finish it off, and he's straight back onto Spectre. And we see the Cassidy one-shotting the Dakin, one-shotting Dakin there. It's a huge play, and we could see Nasher here.
I like the idea that blue team are going for, where they did just preemptively wall growth Dakin and just shove him forward, because Aphelios does have so much damage in his kit, but there was so much CC and so much to stop Dakin doing that the fight just ended so poorly. And the fact that red team were still able to win that fight without their 12-4 misfortune getting blown up by Arcane's ult, just like their team is so much strong right now. Bullet time connected them.
What is a team like that to do? Cassin is level 13, not even level 16 yet, doesn't even have 2 items. He's got a Lost Chapter, a Roa. He now picks up his Archangels, but all he has is Sorcerers and a fully stacked Roa. And, you know, we're 22 minutes in, you know, Cassin's supposed to be that scaling champion, but when you're 80 carry who's getting one shot by that Cassin straight away, what are you supposed to do?
I don't know, really. And we also see a bit of... I'm a bit interested in what Postman Pat's done here. He's built himself a Quicksilver Sash, as well as having a Hex Drinker for the double defensive item.
Yeah, I suppose he must think here that he has enough damage for now for this part of the game, and what's most important is him being able to put out that damage rather than building more raw damage. He needs to survive these fights.
Call of the Forge God is going to come down here, lands onto Red Spectre and Dakin. Dakin is in the backline. Funeral Witch is trying to take him out first. Lulu's dead right now. Wild Growth did get popped, but to no avail. Dakin quite low, and I think blue team just lose here. Double kill for Cassidy and a Dragon.
This, I said it time and time again in the last stream, the last part of the series. You can't go scaling v scaling versus Arcane Angels, but Dirty Threshy is just completely proved me wrong there. You can play scaling versus scaling against Arcane Angels, and you can win hard. They get the Castle of Misfortune, and they just go to town. We saw Misfortune there save the QSS, didn't even use it on that Sejuani ult because she had so much confidence in her team being able to kite for her, or peel for her rather, that that's just some raw confidence there, not popping any of his items there, and he's just going to town auto-attacking. We see the Caston rift walking, stacking it up fully, and picking up those 4 kills alongside that Dragon.
Yeah, and red team still also have the Baron buff up. It's just really, really, really rough if I were blue team. They're already nearly knocking on these inhibitors, and we do see bot tier 2 already gone, as well as mid tier 2. So the only objective coming up now with those Cloud Dragons doesn't still give ultimate movement speed and cooldown reduction as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
really
ultimate
strong.
CDR, and the soul gives you like full movement speed, I believe.
Yeah, that would be really, really strong to have on an already, I haven't checked the runes now, but I didn't see if Postman Pat brought it, but if he brought like Nimbus Cloak, that would be so much move speed to get out of these, and just, I don't think he'd be really touched by anyone bar Sejuani ultimate. And
2 Cloud Dragons is already huge for Caston. You know, it puts the Caston Riftwalk on an even shorter cooldown, to the point where he can just constantly spam it on your enemy backline with little to no consequence and just smack everyone in the backline.
Yeah, and Takiwaki, all of them hanging around topside. They might be just looking to get a pick here. No objectives are up. I think they're probably just going to try and push the last tier 1 and tier 2 in. So the only thing they can do then is just probably send maybe Caston. They could send Orange Split and then maybe Caston's 1-3-1. And because they're already at inhibitors, there's not really much that can happen.
Yeah, and we do see Postman Pat picking up his Molten Edge here. With the upgraded Infinity Edge, and you know, this is another part of Ornn. You know, you play the scaling comp with the Ornn, you just get even more gold efficiency.
And they do get spotted. The Chaos Storm does come down onto Postman Pat. The gravity foil does stop him going backwards, and they do pick himself up a nice little kill here onto Postman Pat.
It does pop the Malmortius. You know, he had the heal up. He didn't use his QSS. Maybe he had the opportunity to be able to use his QSS there once he got stunned by the gravity field, but maybe he thought that he was already dead and that it wasn't worth wasting the cooldown for the next big team fight. It's just a little blip. I don't think it'll matter too much, especially with all these other carries now. Takiwaki has built a bit tankier and is like very much a part of this game, along with the Caston that's still scaling, stacking up that Archangels. And you know, I still think that the red team here has the firm advantage, while just like maybe giving up a bit too much gold there. It's I don't think it'll be game breaking.
And the hook does connect onto Red Spectre, pushing the Hemo play. Call of the Forge God coming out here onto Disco, Dakin and Ragnar. And red team does walk away from this. I don't think they want to take this fight with Arcane. They might have thought he had the Chaos Storm up already, and the Wild Growth is also up for weighted pair as well as Exhaust. So
Yeah, we see there, while Dakin is 3 and 9, that flamethrower gun is still a big threat with that Runance. It still puts out a massive amount of damage to the point where Taki and Funeral Witch say they don't want that fight anymore. It is a 5v4, they don't have Pat yet, but I think it was a wise decision to call off that fight, especially because the Ornn ultimate doesn't have the longest cooldown in the world, especially with these two Cloud Dragons, that it's not worth wasting any more cooldowns on a lost fight.
Yeah, and it's a bit unlucky now that no objectives are up right now, and they can't really push turrets because blue team can kind of send people to match. They could just send like Vladimir can do with some of the side lane split pushing. Dakin seems to be going to taking his own side lanes, but I don't know. I feel like Rek'Sai's not doing too much right now, and it might get to the point a bit later on because nothing's happened so far that she just kind of falls off, and Sejuani's just gets to be a lot better than her.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of scaling, we can see that Vladimir nearly has the fully completed Rabadon's Death Cap for those 3 items Vladimir Spike. We can never rule out the Vladimir being able to one-shot people. It's a bit different in a scaling v scaling comp because there's just so much everyone's so strong. We do see a Castan 3rd item come in there as well as the Rabadon's is bought. Arcane's working up to his 3rd item as well, and we're really seeing these scaling champions like come out to play. And we should have some very explosive team fights from this point forward.
And we do have an objective up. We do see the next Cloud Dragon up in the next 30 seconds. That'd be triple Cloud Dragon for red team. Blue team probably want to try and stop that.
Yeah, it's sole point for anyone that gets it. You know, it puts a lot of pressure on the other team, the team that loses it, because you know you never really want to give up soul, especially with like the amount of movement speed that this Cloud Soul will give the enemy team. You know that Castan can be a monster with a Cloud Soul, especially if he does have 4 Cloud Dragons. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, and Nash is also spawning up soon. We do see Funeral Witch trying to get some vision down. Might save himself a little time for a TP back or something. We do see the TP coming through here from Funeral Witch, trying to stop this dragon. A fight is going to break out. Takiwaki goes into the pit, misses the steal, and his blue team are just going to take the dragon. Dirty Thresh, she does kill him. Pokemon Pat picks up a nice little double kill, and that's going to be an ace for red team.
It's an ace. Do they go Nasher or do they try to end the game? I think they might go for Inhib and then peel back to Nasher. They do lose the dragon, albeit it was kind of rough. They went down to 19 health before it went down. But that is an ace for red team, and we could see the end of the game or an Asher inhibitor.
Yeah, they might look towards the end here. I think they might be just strong enough that they can probably just end off this, to be honest. They have the wave coming into...
They kept that cannon minion alive there. Takiwaki tanking up the tower. They want to keep that... They're not going to go for the end. They're going to peel back for Baron Asher. Maybe they're playing it a bit cautiously. Almost too cautiously, I think. Although we do see the respawn timers coming in now. And you don't want to take those fights when you don't have your cooldowns. I think maybe this is the right decision. And they're going to take a firm advantage in this game.
Castan did also end up in the bot lane while they were doing that. So they were going to be doing it as forward right out their mid laner. Although he is on his own here.
Yeah, the blue team is going to go up here and make sure that this Nasher's happening. I think it might be a waste. They probably should have committed, because maybe now they die.
And we do see the TP coming through here for the Kassadin. Dirty Threshy going to be taken quite low here. Fight breaking out here. We do see weighted pair while growthing himself. Kill for Arcane. A shutdown onto Kassadin.
Soccer for Blood, they're not really getting anything out of his Rift Walks. I'm pretty sure he didn't hit anyone with those Rift Walks when he was stacking them up. And you know, it's kind of rough. You don't have your Rift Walks stacked as you're TPing in. And you can't really do anything. So we might have a pause here. And we do. I don't know how long it'll be for. But we will see.
He reconnected anyway.
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be that much. It's definitely not a rage quit. But we should be getting back to game soon. But just for precaution, we're going to throw this up for integrity of game.
Also interesting to note, at the end of that fight after it happened, when Dakin chased forward to try and get that last tap on Alexa, he did blow the Moonlight Vigil and didn't get anything out of it, which is pretty unlucky actually.
Yeah, if this red team can engage a fight as soon as possible, as soon as that Castan's up, they might be able to catch blue team off guard with the amount of cooldowns.
We're back in the game now.
Yeah, we're back into the game. And we see Ragnar farming his Krugs here. I think that as long as Suck for Blood doesn't do that again, they should be okay. They do walk away with their Barons. And it's just going to be a matter of like teamfight execution from here on. We do need to see Suck for Blood performing a bit better in these teamfights, not just ulting into the backline to die and give Arcane like more scaling gold that he can use to come back into this game.
Like red team are still what, like 7k, 8k gold ahead right now.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel like in these fights though.
No, they're definitely a lot closer than the gold would tell. Although that dragon fight there kind of maybe before the Baron happened might have shown that how dominant that the red team can be in these fights. I think it was a matter of them being caught off guard after they did the Baron, because the cast and TP seemed a bit panicky. I think they should have just let Dirty Threshy die, or just try to fend for himself and kept pushing bot, because Spectre did TP in. That could have been a free bot lane inhibitor if you don't TP to that fight. But maybe they thought they could have won it. It didn't work out that way. But it just shows that with some decisions, this game could be a lot further away from blue team. If those misplays don't go through.
Yeah, and we are seeing Cassin back in the silent with no TP this time, no less, than the rest of the team topside, trying to push this last tier 2, as we do see a hook down onto Ragnar. Nothing going to happen just yet, but blue team want to try and cause a fight here, make something happen. They have been spotted on the blue ward. Ulti does connect onto Takiwaki. Takiwaki forced to pop the Void Assault to try and get out. Not enough, and that's going to kill. Is going to go over to Red Spectre.
They're just disjointed in that fight. They're not together. It's, Postman Pat's off on the other side of the lane. They have no way to win that fight, and they're really, I think, giving Vladimir too much gold here. They have the open inhibitor, but now blue team have their avenue back into the game, and this could be really rough for red team if they keep constantly inting into the Vladimir and the Victor. It gives them far too much gold. They can just get back into this game. Victor can just one-shot your AD carry because it's just that kind of champion. And it's going to be rough if they keep doing these misplays,
I'm not a fan of that 1-4 at all with the TP on Cassidon.
Yeah, you're always taking a 5v4 there, and Cassidon wasn't really pushing fast enough to justify it. He only barely got the wave into the enemy tower by the time that fight was over. He wasn't able to get any tower damage down, and I think he'd be much more effective with just staying with his team and trying to go for picks, because this dragon is coming up now soon in 50 seconds. We could see a fight here. I think the blue team can't really take this fight, but although all their cooldowns are coming back up, if they're the first ones to get there, they can win that fight. But they do have the open inhibitor. Both teams need to play for mid priority here, and it'll be way easier for the red team to execute it. So I do think this dragon should be theirs, but you never know with these two teams.
Yeah, I think it really depends how good the engage is for blue team. Like, if blue team hits a really nice Sejuani ultimate into the Hemo Plague, into like a big Chaos Storm to Misfortune, they just insta win that dragon fight and pop Cast and then pop Misfortune. Although in saying that, I do think red team have another way of getting into that fight with a nice big Ornn ulti, or maybe a nice Blitzcrack hunk onto Dakin or Arcane, something like that really.
Blue team there trying to get mid priority, doing the best they can. Postman Pat needs QSS, he does it, and the fight is being
engaged this time.
Well, that's huge.
The Forge God coming in, and we do see death onto Red Spectre. We see the redemption coming down here for Red Team. Wild Growth forced to be popped onto Ragnar, and Ragnar goes down here. Double kill for Cassidon. Dirty Threshy missing the hook, but Red Team are just going to pick up this dragon.
They can get the dragon. They might be able to get a bit more. They have a wave bot lane in which they can use to get a second inhibitor there, alongside the mid lane inhibitor is spawning soon, as far as I know, and they might be able to pick this up on the respawn, but it might be a bit early for them as they try and pick off Arcane and Weighted Pair.
They could probably have ended if they'd all won as 5 and just ran straight down to bot lane, because they had a 20-second death timers on them. Ornn did have the TP up, so did Sucker for Blood.
He's delaying backs. They want to end the game.
They could have 2-man. They could have just, they could have easily just 2-man here. This has been a bit too late though, because we do see them up in 10 seconds. And even though Arcane's going in here, he did pop the Chaos Storm isn't up just yet. He does have TP available, no flash. I'm not sure if they can end off this, because the rest of the team's just spawning.
Yeah.
And he does get the hook onto Weighted Pair though. Very nice in response. We do see the gravel field down. Void Assault coming in to get the kill onto it. And we do see a kill onto Dakin. Ragnar trying to defend the base of Red Spectre.
This could be the end.
Knocked up by Funeral Witch. This might be the end. Double kill for Misfortune. And this might just be the game.
We see Arcane's back constantly getting delayed here by Dirty Threshy. This might have been the play. If he can cancel that TP, no, he's just going to be, uninterested, as we are going to Game 5 in this quantex semi-finals.
Very, very well played at the very end for Team Dirty Threshy. Bit of a scrappy game overall, though, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. There was plenty of avenues that the blue team had there to get back to the game, but they're just taking these fights that they have no right to take here on this dragon. They should have just given that dragon up and got a bit more mid-priority and looked to reset there and fight for the next big objective after that. I don't think the dragon was major enough that they could justify going for it. But we do see...
Holy shit. Did you see damage graph?
I haven't. I will show the stream now. Oh, no, I might not be able to. Fuck.
I can send a screenshot.
Yeah, send me a screenshot, yeah.
Yeah, and because it's a pretty interesting damage graph, Squab. I'll say that.
I will take a look.
Here you go, dude. Here's a shot of the damage graph in Discord there.
Open. Oh yeah, I will have it there now in a second for the stream. If we go damage and we go to Streamlabs, we open a source image, damage, and we go to. There we are. We see the damage graph set coming out here. We have Misfortune looking to boss the game. We see 41,000 damage on Misfortune. Caston not even coming close despite all those one-shots. And we see Vladimir and Victor doing an equal amount of damage. A bit more than the Caston, but nowhere near Misfortune. As Misfortune shows off that lane dominance as well as the scaling.
Yeah, just an insane amount of damage output from Misfortune. Guess there's no wonder really why she's getting nerfed next patch.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's been meta for far too long now, and it's always been like that oppressive bot laner, and it's just an easy way out for any team drafting there. We might see the same like kind of drafts coming out, but it'll be fun to see these adaptations. As I must invite OBK99 to the game.
And who would have been your MVP for that series, Mr. Schwab?
I think it's hard to look past.
Anyway.
It's gonna be hard to look past Postman Pat for this game. I saw like Taki was very impressive to come back into the game, but it's gonna be hard to justify anything except Pat showing that damage, his dominance in lane, his ability to just straight out balls that he was able to like go into these fights, not use his QSS sometimes to the detriment of him, but in these fights he was able to instantly QSS that Sejuani, where they got that dragon and they ended the game off that play. I think it's gonna have to be Postman Pat for me. But what's your opinion?
I completely agree with you. I don't think there was any contest as who got that. I know his QSSs were a bit strange and maybe probably killed him a couple of times by not doing it, but his like that triple kill bot, the quadra kill bot lane, I mean, and the other fights he played out towards the end were just so good and he did so much damage that like more than anyone by a mile, I think he had to get MVP.
Yeah, so Postman Pat takes an MVP as we go to game 5 here. I'm not gonna lie, after game 2 of last stream, I would not have expected to be in this situation. But here we are, and this is very exciting. I am very excited to see. We will get Silver Scrapes during the break after the draft, I believe.
Oh yeah.
But until then, we have to sit patiently as we await for this game 5 to begin. And I want to see predictions in chat, boys. Alright, chat, who's going to win? Do we have... Give me a 1 for Arcane's Angels and give me a 2 for Team Dirty Threshy. Who do we have the win? We see a 2 being the first vote that comes out. A lot of Team Dirty Threshy here. A highlighted 2. This is it seems to be a bit skewed in favor of Team Dirty Threshy. That seems to be the opinions of chat.
I mean, most of those have them in the quantex betting channel. I mean, this is along the line here, guys. This is quantex betting.
That's true. I can make votes on Twitch. I don't think I have it set up, but I will for next series for the finals. Whoever gets MF, I don't think anyone should be getting MF next. They might just they might do that same coin flip, but maybe Suck for Blood gets Vladimir next game and they take the MF because it's been really valuable in this series, and I can't see anyone looking past it, if you know what I mean. It's like
no contest.
Yeah, it's like what would you be willing to give up to get that MF? Like, do you give Suck for Blood to Vladimir in order to give Dakin his best champion in bot lane?
I don't know. I feel like it's just that good for Dakin and even for other team. I would give up a lot to just have that Misfortune on my team, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's for sure. We are looking to go into game. I'm not sure what the hold-up is. But we will see now. As most of chat says Team Dirty Threshy should be the favourites going into this one, especially with blue side advantage. They're going to have most of the draft in their hands, albeit Red Spectre will get the counter pick most likely. But if they can get an Ornn, they can get maybe a Vladimir. I think you blue side ban Misfortune in this game, just take him completely out of the game. I think you can give Dakin the old the virus. I don't think it's that useful, but I think, well, it's not that it's not that useful, but it's like nowhere near the Misfortune. I just don't think that Dirty Threshy here should be giving up a Misfortune for anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I think personally the main thing that I would say is I I don't know. I would like to see an Orn ban. I know you would be trading a bit more, but I would like to see the Orn taken away. It was just such a, even though it wasn't like as good as Postman Pat, it did a lot in that side lane against Dak, and I think it's just really comfortable to have someone on that and give the extra Orn items to your team, especially the Misfortune.
Yeah. While I think while I think about it, actually, I think that it's going to be up to the red side to ban the Misfortune because they give it away first pick otherwise. And I think that the blue team here is comfortable giving the Vladimir back to Spectre. I think it's going to have to be up to red side thinking about it to be able to ban the Misfortune, and it's going to be pretty rough on the side of red side here draft wise because we know blue team isn't going to give Arcane his Orianna, so he needs to have a good Victor performance if they're going to go back to that again. Otherwise, it's pretty rough. I don't know how they see Cassidon, in this game, but if they just want to run it back the same draft, they kind of have the ability to because red team is going to have all the pressure on them to adapt their draft. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's blue team's game to lose pretty much here, and I think it's red team's game to try and take from them.
Yeah,
Because
for
I think
sure.
red team really need to do it for this draft. They really need to outdraft blue team here if they want to get something out of it.
Arcane's Angels had to triumph Goose's team. They had to triumph an unbeaten team in Dirty Threshy. They did going 2-0 up. We are seeing a reverse sweep, potentially, if Arcane's Angels can't get back on top. And this is about exciting as it gets.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun to watch no matter what happens here. I think, to be honest, it's been a really scrappy, great bit of League of Legends we've seen even in this first game. The second game is gonna be so good right now, I think.
Yeah, this is really exciting. We're gonna see the game happening soon enough, as Devils does my job for me. Thank you. We see, it's gonna be good. I'm very excited as long as we can get started soon. I don't want to be delaying for too long, as we haven't seen any ores come out yet. We see one coming out, so the teams are about to prepare to get into game. As we we see a lot of emotes in chat, and I'm just really excited. I hope Dakin can improve his performance this game. Personally.
Might just chuck blank on his account and say, let's lock Aphelios here, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Alright, so
oh yeah, we might be
I
getting
would
in
like
here in a
to
second.
I'd like to initiate a final warning to Kevin Man 1. If I see one more phallic object in my chat, he stays timed out for 10 minutes.
That's a bit mean to poor old Kevin Man 1. Who
He
just wants to know if you like what you
He
see.
posted a willy in my Twitch chat. I can't be having that. Kevin Man disqualified from Red Bull 1v1 for these crimes against the Irish League of Legends scene.
Imagine if the Red Bull admin saw that. Tut, tut, tut.
As we are still not prepared to get the game, and I can tell you that it's Arcane's fault.
Yep. Good old Arcane. Letting us down.
Yeah, happens, man. Can Disco Dakin do it for Zoink and bring it home to the finals? Or can Dirty Threshy complete this reverse sweep? I forgot that I gave Kevin Trainer mod powers and he is abusing them, I believe.
He's got is that the I'm Devil's swag package? Man, he looks bougie in that, man.
Well, in the SG jacket, yeah, for sure.
He's got with the boots, man. He's got the boots. He got
True.
the denim jeans. He got the denim on.
Yeah, he's got it, man. And if anybody does want an SG jacket, all you have to do is slide into SG Blue Bulberry's DMs on Discord, and he will happily provide one for you, I believe.
I thought all you had to do was follow twitch.tv/Squava, wasn't it?
Oh, true. You also have to follow twitch.tv/Squavo, and I'll get onto him for you. That's all you gotta do.
Oh, I hear or. I do see an or in the chat.
Before we go into this draft, boys, any followers? Very much appreciated. As we see it, draft begins. The biggest draft in both of these teams' pads to the final so far.
I didn't actually get in.
You're not in?
I'm in the actual lobby.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it just said reconnecting, and I'm just sitting in. Well, it'll drag me in. I'll look at your stream. I'll see if it'll drag. It might drag me in.
Yeah, maybe. If not, you can just leave the stream. Well, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to spectate the game as well, which is kind of rough.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, I'm in draft now. I'm in
All
draft.
right, good, 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 good. We see Oriana bans. We are going to see a Kindred ban again. I don't think they'll want to give it up. But maybe they do. Maybe that's an adaptation that you take. For the first time ever, you give Taki his Kindred and see if he chokes.
Sub the Kindred out for the. Oh no. Okay, I guess not.
The Kindred never goes through. The Kindred will not go through for the remainder of this, as we see Yumi taken out of the game. Which is always pleasant for everyone in chat. We don't want to watch that, right, boys?
No Yumi Ezreal. No Yumi Ezreal, boys.
No, not today. That's a Kevinman and Blue Bulberry tactic, and it's dirty. As I see some Shreks in my chat.
Somebody once told me that red team were going to get rolled by me.
Yes, for sure. Soraka band here. They don't want Dirty Threshy back on that. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay, Kevinman. You want to play that game.
And we do see the Varus banned away, so we do see the Misfortune going to get picked up unless it's banned.
They're
They
gonna
ban Misfortune here, or they ban the Orin.
Surely they ban it. Surely they ban it and give up to Vladimir. They're kind of caught for things they can do. They can just... I'm kind of hesitant to say it, but they could... What they could do is they could ban the Misfortune here, give up the Vladimir and pick the Cassidy. As they ban Pike.
Neither.
They want to trade the Misfortune, as it is picked up
Vladimir.
straight away, and they most likely will take the Vladimir here, unless they want to give that up as well. But at that point, you're just thinking, well, you didn't adapt your draft at all. Like, do you want to lose? But
And they also give up the Orin. So if they do, if they do this now and say they take Vladimir and say they take I don't know, the Sejuani again or something, they do give up Orin and Misfortune and a Thresh.
Yeah, they will pick the Orin, which leads me to believe that they won't take the Vladimir, and they might go back to the Victor. Arcane did play it very well in those games, besides the last one. You know, he had a bit of a slip up in the last game, but otherwise he has been playing it well. We see an Ezreal maybe for Dakin?
I don't think I've seen Spectre play Orin before.
No, I haven't either, I don't think, actually.
Yeah, because that's why I assumed he was just going to go across, because he is the 3-champ 1-trick, as it is known.
Yeah, that's true. There will be a live performance of Silver Scrapes by me following this draft for a minute, and then I have to get water. But we do see an Ezreal locked in. Dakin not going back to his patented Aphelios. Instead, he's going to go for more of a caster AD carry. As we see Postman Pat now picking for his team. We'll see what this team will go for. As surely it's a Vladimir.
Yeah, Vladimir, and then a really nice Bruiser maybe or something for Funeral Witch.
Yeah, I mean, Set's open, and I've seen him play it. Maybe Set might be...
open.
It's pretty good into Orin, as far as I know.
Also good to dunk people into the Misfortune ulti.
Surely that's just a hover, right?
Maybe it's a placeholder?
Maybe. Although it would suck for Bloodhound.
Maybe. Braum.
Misfortune Braum here, that's a really juicy bot lane, you know, it's really good for those bot lane 2v2s. It might not be the best into Ezreal, but it does slow him down when if he gets hit by that Q when he dashes away. And this could be a really good kill bot lane, and we've seen Dirty Threshy and Postman Pat have the confidence to go and go for those kill bot lanes. But surely we see a Cassidy pick here, otherwise it gets banned, as a Cassiopeia comes out.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting one now. I've seen Arcane's Cassia before. It's pretty nasty now. I wonder what it'll do into this team, because it'd be nice to flash ult the Misfortune when she's in bullet time, because she's always going to be facing forward.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to pay for the words that I'm about to say, but I would have much rather to see a Cassidy here. But maybe this Cassiopeia is what they needed. Like, their difference in draft, like what they need. They go for the Ezreal Cassiopeia. They want to scale as they normally do want to do this team. It's going to, like, this blue side draft is really going to come down to what they pick next as far as their ease of execution goes, you know? Because that Cassiopeia and Ezreal can kind of just scale into the late game monsters, and so they want to get ahead. They have the scaling Vladimir along with the kill bot lane. They need to get a good top jungle here, and while the Rek'Sai is banned, we might just see another Sejuani, unless red side picks it up first.
Yeah, it's going to be bad at. But if they ban the Sejuani, do you leave more top laners up for Funeral Witch? And they're going to ban the set.
They do ban the set, as I mentioned. If they do want Taki on the Sejuani, they could just pick a Trundle here, which we know Ragnar is very experienced on, as it is a good matchup into Sejuani. They could just pick up Trundle here, P4, and then... But maybe they want the...
They'll ban it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they want the support pick first and then a jungle counter pick, but they get the Lulu. So we could see either a support or a jungler here. I think it will be the support. But
probably like a Janna or something, I reckon.
Yeah, a Janna here into a jungle counter pick. As we see, Taki's if he's not taking out a Sejuani or Jarvan, what else does he have in his back pocket? It's a Morgana pick potentially. And it is locked in, so we do see a jungle counter pick coming out here, and it could be a Trundle if that Jarvan or that Sejuani is locked in, as we do know that it has been Ragnar's best champion in this series so far.
Yeah, this Morgana it's another one that could also shut down Misfortune. Because another one of Misfortune stand still, we just kill her. Because in a lot of these fights, she's gotten some pretty nice ults off. Admittedly, some of them weren't great, but if she gets a good one off, they're kind of screwed with Cassiopeia.
Yeah,
so
they go for Jarvan here, and they have the top lane pick here. And I do like Braum Jarvan combo. You know, it kind of locks them down for the Misfortune. I think they have drafted a really good concept. It's just a matter of executing it that they will need. And they, you know, if they get a good top laner here, they could have a really good dive comp.
They also red team though do also have disengage with the Ornn Morgana, so they can shut that down for the Misfortune ulti, and they do have the Cassio as well.
Yeah, it's rough for MF and Braum to pick such a hard kill lane and then play into an Ezreal Morgana. You know, it's a really sleeper bot lane. They literally have one primary focus, and it's to scale. And we might see a continue in trend here as the jungler gets picked. And it will be that Trundle as we predicted. And so we are 4 minutes away now from the Game 5 between Arcane's Angels and Team Dirty Threshy. Based on these team comps, Oshin, who's going to win this game?
Oh, that's actually a tough one. I'd like to say blue team. Because they do have a pretty nice rounded comp for Misfortune. Although I do think, and I'm not too sure, that red team's comp can just counter it. And that's the only reason I might be tempted to go at red team's comp here.
Yeah, I backed Team Dirty Threshy at the start of this series, and I don't want to flip-flop, so I'm going to continue my prediction with saying that Team Dirty Threshy is going to take this and complete the reverse sweep. I'm just really excited to see a really competitive game of League of Legends, but it is that time where we are going to have to take the break, and in which we will see some silver scrapes. So we'll be back in 3 minutes. boys. It's that time. Wait, I gotta undef and mute. Alright, Sheen, I'm still paused on 0-0. We play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are here for game 5 between Team Dirty Threshy and Arcane's Angels. And we see Suck for Blood get his signature, Vladimir, along with that misfortune that has been so heavily prioritized in this series.
Yeah, again for Postman Pat. I'm a bit shocked they let that one get through.
Yeah, no, he's been a monster on it like the entire series, and they've decided to go again with the misfortune.
The same brick wall. I don't know. I feel like if you're hitting at a brick wall and you're still not getting through it, I don't see why you keep trying.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. As we see an invade, maybe. So I
yeah, we just see a missed binding from weighted pair, though. Unfortunately.
As you know, this is going to be an interesting state of affairs. The red team has taken a very weird draft, I would say. Wait, I have the score wrong on my extras. Give me a sec. You know, this has been a weird adaptation for this blue team. You know, they don't pick up the Vladimir, or they don't pick up the misfortune. When they had the opportunity to get the Vladimir, they didn't want to take it, and they instead go for the Cassiopeia. He must think it's a pretty good matchup for him. We played this the same matchup in a game against I believe it was Rahil's Vladimir, and we did actually win that game. And Yo said that it was a pretty good matchup for him.
Oh, but, we see a fight happening early on. Exhaust popped from weighted pair, and we do see he gets out.
And that is that pressure again from this Postman Pat and Dirty Threshy bot lane. They have been one of the most aggressive bot lanes in the tournament as of now, and they just go for another really aggressive trade. They blow 2 of the wards on Disco Dakin and weighted pair, but we could see Ragnar maybe look to capitalize on that aggression as he has done throughout this entire series so far.
Yeah, it's really. Besides, I think the bot lane's going to be very aggressive, and I'm interested to see what Funeral Witch's Renekton's going to be like, because I'm pretty sure, did he not play it in one of these games and absolutely play a monster over one? I don't think he won the game, but I'm sure he played well on it.
Yeah, I have definitely seen him play. I don't know if it was in this series, but I have seen his Renekton before, and I can vouch for it. I thought it was very good, but again, playing to the Ornn, you're kind of just stuck at the Ornn's will, if you know what I mean. You know, if you're not soul killing him early, you know, his damage output's huge, you know, throughout all stages of the game. If you're not getting those combos consistently, then you could just like be jobbing to the Ornn throughout the remainder of the game. As he goes for another trade.
He's going in here. He's going quite aggressive. Does have the W, Ornn does go in, but nothing happens here.
I'm surprised that Red Spectre didn't flash for that brittle proc there, because he had it, and I thought he might have been able to kill him if he had the cooldowns, but he must not have. He did have the brittle proc available to go, but he decided not to go aggressive. He's going to play a bit more conservative.
Well, to be fair, I don't think he plays Ornn very much, so I'd imagine he's probably just trying to play it safe enough that he can pilot it when he gets his Call of the Forge God and really just make a lot of it work in teamfights.
We see there a tried gank from Taki, and Ragnar is going to be denied by the vision here, so he's not going to be able to get that patent level 3 gank bottom, as he is driven away. Might not even be able to pick up the Scuttle Crab as Pat and Misfortune go up, but or Pat and Threshy go up, but it does look like he will get it, and Dakin is very low. They're not really going to be able to kill this lane, but that's not really their intention. They want to scale harder.
Yeah, I do like the Ezra. In saying that, I do like the Ezra for Dakin, because it's a lot safer for an AD carry for him to play, and he also has the E to just get him out of any rough trades or misfortune ults that really would come his way. Yeah,
they're gonna have the poke advantage though, and they might look to just get a bind and like dump all their damage down. They have gone for the exhaust, and Dirty Threshy's ignite is nearly back up, and that's a pretty huge cooldown to try and all in. They might look to like dive under tower like they did in the first game, the one they lost, but they got that really big lead on the Varus.
We're seeing a pillar coming on there as well.
Yeah, Ragnar again just trying to make these ganks happen, but they haven't been as of now. We might see a plate in the bot lane as Dakin and weighted pair are forced to back. We see not much happening around the map, but we do see Taki camping He's caught on a ward here in top lane, but he still might look to gank regardless. As they,
he does EQ. Bit of a miscommunication between him and his top laner anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and Spectre misses the dash.
Funeral Witch there was trying to just get his wave under his tower, whereas Taki wanted that aggressive play as Dirty Threshy's back is cancelled here. Ragnar is going to look to cheese an early dragon from Taki as he is spotted on the ward. And with that Trundle, I think he's just going to be able to do it. He doesn't have the smite, but Way to Pair is here now to back him up on this dragon, and he might just be able to take it for free.
Speaking of like matches right now, mid lane's a bit interesting with Suckford, but just being poked heavily out of lane here by the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, Ragnar would have been in trouble there if he didn't have his bot lane here, as he is executed.
Oh, executed by the dragon!
But they do get the dragon regardless, so it's kind of has no impact there. He just gets it back, and they do get the dragon. Taki's not really able to
coming down.
to punish this execution, but it's still an execute regardless. And you know, those things kind of happen sometimes. It's a bit embarrassing, but overall, it's not really going to have any impact on the game, as we still await our first blood.
Yeah, it was good Disco Dakin picked up the dragon anyway, because I think if Takiwaki was even around that and saw that happen within about 2 seconds, if they saw the death, he would just immediately taken him.
Yeah. We see not much going on around the map. We just have normal trading in the bottom as they might look to engage now.
Yeah, it's been a bit safe so far. I guess it's kind of a lot weaker because we do see Threshy with Braum. It's up to Postman Pat to get those 4 autos off to get the root. It's not as easy as the last game.
Yeah, as we see both junglers kind of looking to support their lanes, but obviously these lanes are both pushed in mid and bot respectively, so it's going to be kind of rough to be one of these junglers, but they are going to have their impact as the time comes. Of course, Ragnar's already gotten a dragon. Taki wasn't able to execute on his ganks, but he will look to farm up and then maybe all in a lane when he's level 6.
Yeah, we do also see 10 CS in the lead for Postman Pat anyway, so he's just slowly building it up. Dakin did also buy the trademark Cull, Mr. Schwav.
Of course, that's
Classic.
Dakin's Cull, man. He loves it. I don't know, you can't keep him away from a Cull as oh!
Done! The ulti does connect onto Suck for Blood. He did a big Ignite Up, did a flash, and he still goes down.
Yeah, that's huge. Of course, Suck for Blood doesn't have his chance to use his empowered Q there to get the healing that he would have needed. So he just goes down and dies, and I guess this speaks to Arcane's pick. You know, maybe he was comfortable giving up to Vladimir the entire time, but they only had to bring it out now.
I don't know, it's one of Arcane's better and more... Well, I personally would have known more Arcane as Orianna and Cassiopeia. I hadn't seen it too much of it anyway, and I think it's working very well anyway from what we've seen. He's already like 30, nearly 40 CS up on Suck for Blood. It's going very well.
Way to Pair sniped!
Blown up there by the Misfortune bullet time. Very nicely done. And Postman Pat, even though mid lane's winning, we do see blue bot lane going ahead here. Braum ulti is popped. Ignite coming down here. Takiwaki comes in, but the kill does go onto Postman Pat. Cataclysm coming down here onto Ragnar. Takiwaki is smited. Bot lane's not really there yet because they don't necessarily have the wave to do it. Pat is taking tower aggro. I think he just inted. He just gets smited. Flash and Ragnar. And Ragnar, I think he stays alive. Taki taking tower aggro, doesn't have Q just yet. He takes the kill as a trade with Ragnar, and Ragnar picks himself up 2 kills.
Ragnar picks up 3 kills, and my god, maybe that's just the pressure getting to them, but that went horribly wrong. Pat taking aggro there for no reason as his last minion dies, and Ragnar's just able to flash onto him, and you know, that's really rough. That gives them it doesn't give them a lead there, still behind, but it gives Trundle his jungle item already, and he gets a bit of an advantage in that regard. As Spectre's buy gets cancelled, he has picked up the Bramble Vest here to try and negate some of Renekton's healing. But he's not looking to trade aggressively. He has fallen behind a good bit, but of course it is Ornn, so he will still have impact in this game regardless of his CS deficit. It's just a matter of containing how much of impact Funeral Witch will have. As Arcane here looking to really boss the mid lane with a 30 CS lead.
Yeah, I don't know. This Cassiopeia is working very well anyway. Although, in saying that, this can go one of 2 ways once it goes to a team fight. Either he stops Misfortune ulti and he kind of gets a good ult off in team fights, or Misfortune gets so far ahead that one ult just blows up the whole team and he just dies before he can do it.
Yeah, and one interaction that we do have to keep in mind while we're talking about Ornn's impact on this game is the Braum counter pick into the Ornn here. It's pretty huge for blocking that Ornn ult because you know, it doesn't go through the team if the Ornn can put up the door in time to or if the Braum can put up the door in time to block it. As we do see Talkiwaki picked up a Rift Herald and will look to use it. He's playing towards his mid laner here, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anything off. But they do have that Herald while the plates are still up, and he's going to have to use that soon enough to get the full advantage out of it.
Yeah, we did also see Ragnar go bot lane. Didn't look like he got anything there, so it's a bit unlucky, but I think he was just trying to get something while Taki was doing Rift Herald, really.
Yeah, as we do see trades, but nothing major in the mid lane as Arcane looks to aggress yet again, really extending the CS lead. He is bossing it in the mid lane. He's got a 43 CS lead as it stands, and you know, he's looking to almost hit 10 CS a minute, and that's pretty huge in these kind of games when you're looking to accelerate the game.
And we do also see Dirty Thresh getting picked off here. Ragnar coming in with the gank. Does have the ulti bullet time coming down here. Not enough. And he is rooted from the Morgana bunny, but he picks himself up a kill into way to pair. TP comes through here. Funeral Witch pops his ultimate, as does Red Spectre with the Call of the Forge God. Funeral Witch gets himself a nice little kill in response onto Disco Dakin. I think that was actually a pretty fair trade if Pat gets out alive, but the smite does come down from Ragnar. We do see Red Spectre here, and it's going to be a double kill for the Ornn.
Yeah, it could have been such a good play had Pat just kind of left Funeral Witch there to get what he could and try and get out. But he does die there to the Trundle with the movement speed, as he did have his tier 1 boots along with his W. And it's, you know, that's pretty rough if you're the side of Postman Pat and Dirty Threshy there. They almost had a good combo, but that Ezreal ult just kind of shot through them there as we look for an aggressive trade mid lane.
Yeah, Arcane doesn't have the ulti up. And Surfer for Blood flashing aggressively, pops the Hemo Plague, doesn't get the kill, unfortunately, though.
No, they were looking for a dragon, but it looks like they're going to have to peel off it until Red Spectre gets here, at which point they might go for it. But Taki and Threshy are here to thwart their efforts, but they're pinched.
They're in a rough place here. We do see 4 members collapsing on them, and we do see Dirty Threshy maybe getting caught out here. And Misfortune's bot lane, he can't do anything to help. And that's just going to be 2 kills for Disco Dakin.
2 kills and a dragon. They did not respect Dakin's damage on the wing there. They thought that maybe they could have been able to blow him up, but nothing comes of that. And they get a dragon. Again, they have the first 2 dragons. As Funeral Witch looks to get plates in the top lane. But this is a huge swing advantage for Arcane's Angels here. And, you know, they seem to have the more scaling on the side with the Ezreal and the Cassiopeia, but they have got early leads alongside that. This Vladimir is going to have to pick up some, you know, free kills later, because at this moment in time, he was 2 levels down, now only 1, and he's nearly he's nearly half the CS of Arcane here. So it's like, you know, what avenues do you see for Suck for Blood to get back into this game?
I'm not sure now, correct me, I don't know myself now, Scrabble, you're the top laner, not me, but I do see Red Spectre pick himself up a first item, Thornmail.
Maybe he could have stuck on the Bramble, but it is pretty good into the Renekton. Maybe he's losing out on a bit of his wave clear because he doesn't have the Bammy Cinder proc for himself, which procs on his Q and his E. So maybe if it were me, although he is a better player than me, if it were me, I would have gone for just the Thornmail into the Sunfire Cape. He would have got more innate tankiness, but he's gone for the armor instead. It might give Vladimir an opening to it might give Vladimir an opening to just rip through him. But for now, he's really stuck with the Thornmail, so he can pick up the farm. In these trades top lane, but Threshy's taking
Threshy went a bit far aggressive here. His ult missed. He actually ulted onto Dakin when Dakin was already spell shielded, but he was rooted. J4 does come in there, pick him up nicely. Kill onto Jarvan. Ulti coming down to Suck for Blood from Arcane, and don't think Suck for Blood has any way out of this.
No, he
is just going to go down.
That's a huge play for Arcane there. Arcane just using a bit of his middle lane intuition there. He kind of expected Suck for Blood to rotate down there so they could get a better push with their Herald, and he recognizes that Suck for Blood wants to go down, and he just ults him before Suck for Blood can even expect it in the bush.
Yeah, I'm a bit interested in what's going to happen here, because now that I think about it, flash from Postman Pat, as I say, this flash in response from Ragnar. He'll force be popped from Postman Pat. He is in smite range though, and I think he gets out. Although I could be wrong.
The W, but he isn't going to look to dive as his ult just expires there. Spectre taking a bad trade there onto the Renekton. But, you know, you see all the vision that the red team has here on bot side. They have 2 pink wards and a deep vision ward onto the brush there. And, you know, Suck for Blood is really struggling here on his main champion. It's kind of crazy that he was able to do, like, all these great plays on his off-road, like, champions. And then once he gets his main here, he's kind of crumbling under the pressure of Arcane.
Yeah, although Arcane is like, one of his main champs as well. I don't see it often, because I remember in Quantex Custom you used to say he would never pick Orianna and he'd never pick Cassiopeia in a Quantex Custom because I don't want to try hard, quote from Arcane. And
Yeah.
I think this is why he's holding it back, really. I think he just wants to whip it in these clutch situations where he can really just stick it to the mid laner. And on Suckerblood's main, this is super, not disrespectful, but it's like, it's disrespecting the Vladimir pick, if you get what I mean, and basically devaluing it.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see, like, some champion selects it was banned, but some, it was available there just to be picked, but instead they like, valued the Vladimir a bit too highly prior to this game, along with just, favoring Victor, as we do see big trades here in bot lane.
Yeah, Glacier Fisher pops, knocking up Morgana, and bullet time coming down here onto Dakin quite low, but the Petrifying Gaze hits Taki and hits Postman Pat, and it gets a nice little kill for Ragnar. Very well done from Arcane.
Yeah, we
I think
do
Freshy
see.
just dies here.
Oh, we see a flash as Suck for Blood is here.
Cataclysm from Taki on Arcane. He has no way out of this. He is taken quite low. He is in the pool. Vladimir picks himself up the kill, but we do see that Ragnar picks himself up a kill onto Braum in response.
Yeah, we see Spectre is really being bossed out of top lane here as well, as he will use the TP to save his tower. But just the fact that had to be used, he was too low from trades with Funeral Witch there to be able to TP back into that fight. So he does favor, as they might pinch on Ragnar here.
Yeah, we do see. And we also see Funeral Witch rotating down as well. They might just be able to pick him up here, as what the explosive plant is up. And he doesn't know he's there. Funeral Witch coming through, does get the root. Follow the Forge God is a bit late.
Yeah, not able. I think Red Spectre tried to get a wave there under his tower, but I think it would have been more value to try and save Ragnar over time, because it puts more money in the pocket of a Bork Renekton that is going to look to boss this top lane even further. Kind of negating a bit of the loss that they're making in mid lane, being 60 CS down, because he himself has a 40 CS lead on top. As well as Pat's 30 CS lead in the bot lane over Dakin, playing that aggressive Morgana. But we do see Weighted Pair being a bit too...
Gonna get pinched off here. He forced a flash.
Yeah, he's being a bit too aggressive. We did see him get blown up by Pat earlier as he tried to get an ult off, but Arcane's gonna be spotted here. As nothing happens, they go for a dragon.
Personally, I think the only person who can really take Arcane right now is Funeral Witch, because if he just gets through the ult and then just shoots on, he can do something. We see a Dragonfly TP coming down here for Funeral Witch, as we see Jarvan 4 falling, Ezreal goes down, but that's just a misfortune. Dirty Threshy's on his own in the pit, but Sutter for Blood's here to lay a hand. He's going to try and take the dragon. Dirty Threshy can't get out. Arcane goes down, and all they have to do now is kill Ragnar and they get a free dragon, and that's going to be the free dragon for Blue Team, I think.
Yeah, that's a really big swing for Blue Team here as they take the lead. Postman Pat, they're getting exhausted, but he is still able to kill Dakin because Dakin's not able to do enough damage this early on in the game. Pat takes that exhaust, you know, he said it doesn't matter. Dakin is tanking a bit of the dragon, as along with just that massive MF damage output that we've seen be so heavily prioritized in this series, and even tanking the exhaust, he's able to kill Dakin there, which really gives him the advantage going into the fight, because you don't have that Ezreal poke being hit onto you when you're Suck for Blood, when you're Funeral Witch, and Funeral Witch there just showing his strength, having a Bork, you know, just really going heavily aggressive onto Arcane there, and Arcane has nothing to do. It's a champion with no mobility, is the Cassiopeia. He has no way out. The only way for him to get out is to ground his enemy and just run away, but he couldn't proc phase rush there in time, and Funeral Witch was just able to boss on him.
Yeah, I kind of thought originally that was what Funeral Witch had to do. I'm glad to see him actually do it as well, because to be fair, I know Suck for Blood is a bit stronger now, but I think literally the only person who can match him is literally Funeral Witch, because he can just dive through and easily just shoot through Arcane, dodge the ult, and then just hit the instant W route. What can he do, really? Yeah,
so, you know, honestly, for that fight, it looked like it should have been Red Team favored, but Postman Patch is doing far too much damage for anyone to do anything about there, as they might be pinched as they try to go on to the...
Spectre. And we do see Dirty Threshy getting bound here. Arcane getting ignited. Bullet time coming down here. Dirty Threshy tanks the ulti from Arcane so that Postman Pat can continue to ult. And that's a double kill as Red Team picked it up, I believe, the Rift Herald there, was it?
Yeah, Red Spectre does manage to pick up his Rift Herald there, but it is a monstrosity of a fight for Red Team there. We saw that is the combo that you want to see, with Talkie-Walkie just diving in regardless of his own life, as Misfortune is able to get the bullet time and a one-shot weighted pair alongside Disco Dakin, as they are going to look for a very early Baron Nashor. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that in that anyway, I'm pretty sure Dirty Threshy tanked the ulti from Arcane while Postman Pat was in the middle of his bullet time, so he didn't get hit by the Arcane ult, and he just got out of it. As Jesus, that was nearly a steal.
That was nearly a steal from Dakin. A very wise decision there from Dirty Threshy to stand in front of the WQ there from Dakin, as it is unable to penetrate the wall of Taki and Dirty Threshy here, and now that is a huge swing in favor of the blue team here. We've been kind of talking like they've been at a goal deficit this whole time, but they haven't. They've really had a good lead based on those CS numbers. Even if the Vladimir is CS down on Arcane, it's being made up by his top laner and his bot laner. And they really do take a firm advantage now. As Dak can eat over this wall, he might not be able to survive this. But Postman Pat's going to play conservatively and just pick up this mid wave instead.
Yeah, I think they're doing if they just do the standard, put your MF on every wave and let him scale to 3 or 2 items, which he is at now, he can just pretty much take most of these fights on his back.
Yeah, he's picked up that QSS now for the Petrifying Gaze. He will be able to tank 1 or 2 of those without getting blown up, as Arcane is going to look here to go on Suck for Blood.
Suck for Blood, forced to cool. Does get out though.
That is the agency of the Vladimir, though. He's able to survive those like aggressive trades that maybe like champions like, I don't know, a Victor wouldn't be able to survive that grounding very efficiently. But that pool just gives Vladimir so many options in what he wants to do in this game. He can dive the backline, he can tank for the Petrifying Gaze while pooling for the for his backliners to be able to wombo combo onto Arcane there. But either way, this Vladimir, it just shows why it's such a reliable pick for him.
Dakin going to ult, is going to get tanked by Dirty Threshy. Very nicely done. Root does come down and Postman Pat picks himself up a kill off Glacier Fisher.
I think it's the impact of this Braum pick can't be overstated. It can block an Ezreal ult, it can block an Ornn ult, it can block most anything here, and it's pretty huge for this team comp to be able to do what they want to do with the Braum ult along with the Jarvan ult. They can really get these wombo combos off without having too much punishment from the Ornn and the Ezreal because of the door that this Braum provides.
Yeah, and you use Baron buff being up as well. Gonna get another turret potentially in mid lane while Arcane's forced to recall, and they don't have their top laner with them neither.
Yeah, we do see that they are trying to aggress. Dakin goes in!
Dakin a bit too aggressive at the I reckon he's out of the range of the Cataclysm, but he still dies. Weighted pair quite low here. I think Pat healed. Yeah, is going to pick up the kill, and he survives as well. Free kill while Ragnar leaves.
Is that a Ragnar rage quit, or did he disconnect? But he's reconnected here.
Ragnar was not happy with that now.
No.
And I already see Arcane spamming chat with random, spam key spaz that you do when you're
angry. Yeah. And they're at a 7k gold deficit here. And it's looking really rough for them, to be honest. He picks up the Morellonomicon to negate some of this Vladimir healing, but at the end of the day, it might not matter all too much if that Vladimir is in the pool and isn't taking any damage, any of this DPS from Cassiopeia. And we do see the pause still happening. This dragon is going to be coming up soon as we come out of this pause. So, it's looking pretty good for the side of Team Dirty Threshy. They might be able to complete this reverse sweep as the game resumes.
I see a very interesting message in chat there. Dakin learning from his father, Kevilman.
The Ian Ezreal god. Although we did see Kevilman pick up a pentakill in a UK in-house. If anyone didn't see that.
Div 2 though, isn't it?
It was
bigger pool. It's still Div 2.
It was Div 3 though, no?
Oh, was it? Oh, even Kevilman letting us down, man.
I know, man.
Not even Div 1 player.
Representing the community well by screaming in these UK players' faces, man. Nothing like him. As we see this Ornn picking up those Krugs, picking up what little farm he can. He is on 174 CS. He's not doing the worst, but he's still 50 CS down, and we see the Herald stolen that came out from the earlier team fight as Sucker for Blood is getting collapsed on.
Yeah, it doesn't see Ragnar weighted pair. Binding does connect. Dakiny's forward to attempt to get it, but he might have got a bit too close as he barely survives. He might go down. No, he gets a...
If Sucker for Blood had been able to get that Q off, if he wasn't bursted so quickly, then Dakin would have died there 100-0. But the fact that he doesn't get the Q off means that Dakin gets to live another day. But it just shows how close it is and how much agency again this champion has from being collapsed 3v1 to being able to almost one-shot an enemy AD carry. It's pretty huge.
Yeah, I think Dakin's E forward, even though it was the closest he was going to get to trying to take that kill and push him a bit further ahead, he really just shouldn't have done it, especially with a Vladimir who could have easily just one-shot him. If he'd finished his death cap there, I think he was just dead.
Yeah, for sure. He still has those 2 Dark Seal stacks, I believe, unless he doesn't. No, he still does. He still has those 2 Dark Seal stacks. So he is going to look to have a really hard spike when he gets this Rabadon's here. And we see another pause come out. I'm not sure what the purpose of the pause is, but just for...
Supports Mike, apparently.
Okay, so we are going to go for this screen for now, just in case this pause goes longer than 3 minutes. And,
Yep, good shit.
Yeah, so, we are seeing a bit of the, textbook Team Dirty Threshy play here. They kind of, I think it's fair to say their weakest part of their map is their mid laner, but when he's on his best champion, no matter how hard he loses early, you can still pick it up in the late game, almost making those big plays there on Dakin, and he still looks to scale up into a monster here as he's almost completed his Rabadons.
Yeah, I don't know, I think as well, it's also unlucky to note that Cloud Soul is what we have as well, and 2 Clouds again go on to blue team here.
Yeah, that's
20% ultimate cooldown reduction already,
That's just some of the RNG there that goes away from the red team now as the Wombo combo comes on an even earlier cooldown now with the bullet time, with the Cataclysm, and with the Braum ult. Like the name eludes me, but they have this
Glacial Fissure.
Yeah, the Glacial Fissure. They have this huge Wombo combo now, and now that it's on even shorter cooldown, they can look to force these fights even earlier on than they should be from normal, and it's pretty huge now. They have a 4k gold lead. The Baron will be up in a minute 30, and they're gonna look to force these fights as the game does resume as normal.
Yeah, I think if I were Arcane's Angels, I'd look towards either getting a really good pick onto Misfortune, like by getting a nice flash by Arcane, or just a really good engage off Red Spectre. But I think right now they don't want to 5v5. I think blue team's just stronger all around, especially with Funeral. If he's not in a side lane, or if he is in a side lane, they have a decent chance. But if Funeral Witch is there, I'm not too sure.
As Dirty Fish tanks all these up.
And we do see the Glacial Fissure coming out here, but it doesn't even matter because Ragnar just dies anyway. Call of the Forge God lands onto Taki to no avail, really. Flash Force from Arcane, he still gets rooted. Bullet Time comes out onto weighted pair. Cataclysm coming down onto Disco. Dakin does E out, does pick up the kill onto Taki Waki, and we do see Arcane. No ult available, no flash available. Dakin on 10 HP gets destroyed by Postman Pat. And what weighted pair won't be longing for this world much longer as he is spotted on the ward. And I think blue team are just going to push this in and get a free mid inhibitor.
Yeah, this is pretty huge, this signals, I think, the beginning of the end for Arcane's Angels. They try and take that fight, and, it doesn't really work. While the Ornode still does go through because, the Braum E was on cooldown, it doesn't really seem to matter because that Ornode didn't really have much impact on the flank. They might not get the inhibitor here.
Yeah, Dirty Threshy might have been a bit too far forward there as he does get knocked up by the Orin and killed.
Yeah, that does, it maybe plays to the aggression of Postman Pat a bit. He did dive that bot tier 2, and he picked off the bot tier 2 as well, but they give up the inhib as a trade because he chased away the pair for so long and wasn't able to kill him there, so Ragnar gets the black shield, and he's able to just pummel onto Dirty Threshy there and pick up the kill, so they do live to see another day. They have their mid lane inhibitor, but the Baron is up now, and it's a question of how much longer can they survive.
Yeah, I think they really need to force a pick at Nash, or at least just take Talkie-Walkie off so they don't have the smite available for Nash.
Yeah.
It's super unlucky.
Yeah, they're going to look to fight for mid priority here as in all fairness, the red team does have the warding of the Baron pretty secured. They seem to have that like element of the game down where they always have pretty good ward cover on the Baron and the Dragons. But you know that we can pretty much assume that vision isn't long for this world as the pink wards are being bought. Takiwaki has two, but they are playing towards bot side. They might look to get this dragon before they play anywhere towards the Baron, as Dakin is taking out those pink wards on the top side.
Ah, yeah, if I were blue team right now, having another 10% ult CDR just by walking in and killing a member of red team is just super, super handy for them. They get Nash anyway if someone does come and try and check their dragon right now.
Yeah, I think if you are Arcane's Angels here, you can't really do anything about this. You have to give it up, and you know it's just really rough because at which point you just kind of consider where is your opening. Like they could try cheese this Baron here, but blue team has cover as there are pings coming down onto it. I'm not sure if they're going to be executed on, but there are pings coming down towards the Baron where maybe they want to coin flip it and give up the Cloud Drake in favor of the Baron because they do have Cassiopeia Ezreal. They do it pretty quickly. It's going to be a game of how quickly can, as they're going to not do the dragon, it'll be there when they come back, but for now they're going to try and stop this Baron attempt.
My game stopped for a second there.
Red team picks up the dragon here now. Funeral Witch diving in onto Ornn. Ornn is going to die, but they are going to sacrifice the Ornn in favor of getting the Baron. They walk away with their Barons. I think blue team is going to pick up the dragon here, or else they're going to look to force an inhib, and they might be able to force the game. Red team does get back pretty quickly with their Barons, but you know it's going to be pretty hard to fight this. A member dead, two members down even. Weighted pair also dies.
Yeah, this is going to be inhibitor, I think, is it?
Yeah.
My computer crashed on me there. Well, not computer, but my client just crashed on me. It was just frozen. I couldn't actually see the Baron fight at all, but I think I'm on the same speed.
It's alright. So now they are disengaging from the inhibitor. Now they're going to walk down to the dragon. Oh, I'm on 29-25 by the way.
Yeah, I'm on. That's me as well.
Yeah, alright. So there's pings coming down. That is a very good macro play there by Arcane Disco Dakin. They recognize that they have the speed to do it along with Ragnar. They have that attack speed and the DPS from the Cassiopeia. They can just force a Baron there, and that's pretty poor on the side of Team Dirty Threshy there, that they think that they can just leave. They can go 5 members onto the dragon when maybe it's not necessary, because they should have been covering Baron Pit at the same time as trying to secure that dragon as soon as they saw the red team on the vision there. But it's a free Baron for Team Arcane's Angels, and they could look to get a few objectives off of this and maybe try and catapult themselves back into the game.
Yeah, I think at the moment though, with Baron down, 3 dragons down already, if they lose this dragon, or if blue team do decide to 5 as 5, I think they just win.
Yeah, I think they do win a full 5v5 as long as the Brome can execute blocking those cooldowns with his door, because it's kind of hard for Spectre to engage at which point when the Brome has that door and can just deny every possible engage. But Taki may be looking for something here as he's caught in the Raptor's pit.
Doesn't go in though.
Nothing comes of it, and they're going to just pick up this enemy. I think the play here is just to wait out this Baron and then go for next dragon as soon as it comes up, and then once you play for soul, then you can pretty much force any 5v5. But Funeral Witch here going top to pick up some priority as he's followed by Red Spectre, so we might see a fight in the top lane, but for now it's just going to be pushing mid again back and forth as Dakin does E forward.
Yeah, just gonna 1-4, I think. Might be good for them.
Yeah, Ragnar.
The CS coming in.
Ragnar clearing some vision in the bot side there as there's 2 members rotating up, but Funeral Witch recognizes it on the vision, and he's going to look to disengage that fight there from Ornn as they look to maybe fight, but they don't get anything off it. It's just going to be mid clear back and forth, a bit of cat and mouse as it's inhibitors against Baron minions, or super minions against Baron minions. And
Suck for Blood is side in mid lane, but he doesn't have TP since he did take the Ignite, so he isn't going to be around for this fight in mid lane. If something does break out, we do see the Call of the Forge God coming down for Mr. Red Spectre. Arcane is going to come up here. Ragnar disconnected, and an unfortunate pause.
An L pause. Nothing like an L pause to break up the momentum of the game. And we do see at this point Funeral Witch kind of needs to disengage this. We see Suck for Blood maybe rotating back to the mid lane. They might be able to force something. But Arcane here, it was kind of weird they didn't recognize this roam as soon as it happened, because they saw Arcane leave the mid lane. And they didn't really do anything about it, if you know what I mean.
Pause during fight. weird champ. What is it? Jungle DC on red side. So Ragnar disconnected. Yeah. But he's not even in the fight. I don't think that's fair at all, considering there's a fight happening already. I don't know.
Might not be good. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Do I hear open mid?
Yeah, Jubata saying open mid, man.
Man, that's just what you need. We just open mid.
Hope JC
I
does
actually
it.
hate that Jubatis' name's in black, so I cannot even see it unless my phone's on like super brightness.
Did you see this here? We from Dissident, I hope JC does Fountain at the end as a homage to episode 2. I agree. I think he should give me some more clip views that I can post on Facebook to get some more clout. Because I can never have too much clout.
Still gonna be paused, and I see we are going to be getting into this game super shortly.
Yeah, Ragnar seeming to have a bit of connection issues throughout this entire game. He has already disconnected twice, I believe, and we are going to go for our third pause. Yeah, play will resume as normal as we get back into this fight.
Funeral Witch doesn't have the ulti available to him, and he is going to root Arcane. A bit of a misplay from Red Spectre diving through him. And I think Funeral Witch might get out alive, as we do see Takiwaki going in here onto Ragnar. Ragnar trying to help his mid laner, but he is going to get stunned a bit. And Postman Pat picks up a kill onto the support. Ezreal's rotating up as his Misfortune Glacial Fissure is popped into the Cataclysm. And we do see a very low Red Spectre, but he does knock up Dirty Threshy and Funeral Witch. And blue team looking a bit stronger, but Dirty Threshy might have walked a bit too far forward as the bullet time is popped from Misfortune, taken to no HP at all. Arcane picks up a kill onto Misfortune. Suck for Blood trying to get something back in response. He does pick up a kill onto Cassiopeia. Ragnar picks up a kill onto Funeral Witch, though, and red team walks away with this fight, I think.
Suck for Blood maybe overextending a little bit here as Ragnar might go down.
Oh, it doesn't get it.
An ace there from a disjointed fight, and Arcane's Angels showing their perseverance. They come back into this game, they win the fight. This mostly goes down to Red Spectre's ability to not die for so long. He builds those two Ornn items with the Abyssal Mask and the Sunfire Cape along with the Thornmail, and he is unable to be killed by Takiwaki and Funeral Witch. They just don't have enough burst damage, and he just survives this for way too long, and it forces Postman Pat to go into a bad position to bullet time just to kill him, to which point he gets one shot by a WQ there from Dakin along with the Cassiopeia Q. And you know, once your most damage is down, Vladimir took a bit too long to get into the fight, but once Misfortune was dead, it looked like a bad fight for Team Dirty Threshy there. But we will go again. We have a dragon up in a minute, and we should have another explosive team fight from here on out. Fighting for soul for Team Dirty Threshy here. They will get the movement speed, and they might look to translate that into a winning fight. But we will see now as the Vision game is played.
Yeah, I think personally, Postman Pat, I know he gets a kill and he zones the Morgana out, but he really should have just probably stayed with the team instead but for the start of the fight, because you didn't see Suck for Blood for so long in it. As a TP is going to be popped by the Ornn. Glacial Fissure does come down here, and it's just going to be a kill onto Dirty Threshy. Caught out of position a few times this game actually on Braum.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. That's his 7th death of the game, and now it looks as if they might not have enough pressure to get this dragon. We do see them playing towards topside with Funeral Witch pushing all the way in, but it kind of just gives Red Team an opportunity to run it down mid here, maybe pick up that tower, and they do have enough pressure to pick up this Cloud Dragon, along with all the Ornn items that are coming out. We now see the Trinity Fusion from Disco Dakin, along with the Zhonya's Paradox for the way to pair here, and the Morgana.
Yeah, this is not going very well for blue team at the moment. They were so far ahead, and now they're 1k gold ahead, even though they're sitting on the 3rd dragon. Red team are going to pick themselves up a Cloud Dragon to stop the soul. And
they look to play.
They're going to chase Baron at Mistrance.
They look to play the same song and dance as last time. He bullet times the Baron. They might have enough time here.
They know they're there now, though. And 3k. Red team is around. Ornn is coming in here, but they do get the Nash. 3-man knock-up from Red Spectre, but they do end up killing Suck for Blood at the start of this fight. This is a really bad spot for Red team to be in. Postman Pat in the backline, Call of the Fortune coming in, and he does get blown up. Unfortunately, Takiwaki goes golden. We don't see Funeral Witch, and we don't see Dirty Threshy, unfortunately, and that's just going to be 3 kills for Red team.
I don't think they have enough time to end, but they can definitely pick up an inhibitor here. The Baron minions are going to stop them from getting the the tower straight away, as we do have a Dragon Alert and a Baron Alert, if I can just turn it on. As there we go, and they might look to get the inhibitor here, as we see Funeral Witch trying to get more pressure top lane to try and drag them back to base. But Dirty Thresh just trying to delay the inevitable here, whereas they try and get the inhibitor. But we saw there that Stock for Blood was blown up immediately, and he wasn't able to do anything in that fight, as they tried to play their own macro game where they were picked off by that Baron earlier, and they tried to do the same thing again. And
oh, they just killed Dirty Threshy, but Suck for Blood trying to come in aggressive here did pop the Proto Bell to no avail, and it's just going to be an inhibitor for safely for Red Team.
Yeah, this game is swayed back in the favor of Arcane's Angels, who now pick up a 1.6k gold lead. And you know, it's really rough. You know, Dakin has his 4 items now, along with those Berserker Greaves. Arcane working towards his 5th item. He doesn't have any boots because he can't buy any, so I think he will look towards his Rabadon's Death Cap. We do see...
Postman Pat doesn't see him in the brush, and he is just going to recall.
No,
unlucky.
That's unfortunate. As we see, Postman Pat wasn't able to get any peel in that fight, because once Dirty Threshy was kind of out of commission for that fight, it was just Pat on his own to face Ragnar, who was healing up from him. And it was pretty rough, as we see the Ornn item for the Locket of the Iron Solari come out, as we will be fighting for Soul in 3 minutes, Baron in 4. But it is going to be another cat and mouse game of pushing the mid wave and trying to get any objective where they can, any bit of farm where they can, maybe a pick along the way. But we will see Funeral Witch here try to clear mid lane, as Arcane goes bot lane and tries to get another bit of pressure for them. We see them very much hugging the bot side here, leaving Red Spectre alone. Red Spectre CP nearly up, so if they do want to instigate a fight, Red Spectre can be there pretty soon, but they need to hold off for another while longer.
Yeah, he did pick himself up a Sheen as well for a bit of extra damage, going to the Iceborne Gauntlet a bit later on the build.
Yeah, some people call builds like that a bit inefficient when you're not going for the Ornn items on the Iceborne. There could be a few more buys that are a bit better, but maybe he wants the damage here so he can have a bit more output, rather than just being the guy who instigates these fights, because his instigation is kind of being cut off by the Braum, so he might as well serve a different purpose aside from tanking, and he's decided that the slows and the bit of damage that you do get from the Iceborne is going to be the way to go.
I mean, he's doing a good job at zoning people off with the ult. I mean, in that Baron fight right there, it was a really nice call the Forge God onto Misfortune in the pit when she was on her own to just get that, secure that pick on her, really. Yeah,
it comes at the fault of Dirty Threshy again, because he was kind of taken out of commission a bit early in that fight, so he wasn't able to block any of the Ornns engage, and therefore Pat was just left stranded on his own, and he was picked off. Suck for Blood died very early in the fight. As long as these 2 carries can stay alive pretty for like a pretty substantial amount of the fight, they will be able to do something about it. But otherwise, you know, it's going to be at the whims of Dakin and Arcane here to just sweep this fight if they can.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. It's been very scrappy so far, dragging up in a minute, but I feel like this has just been a comedy of errors for Dirty Threshy's team for this whole last 10 minutes of the game, as Red Team have really clawed their way back into this and even got themselves a nice lead now at this stage.
Yeah, they didn't really have any right to get back to a game where the Misfortune and the Vladimir both had a lot of gold, but Arcane there is just showing his perseverance yet again against Suck for Blood here, picking up the Cassiopeia and Ezreal. You know, they've really shouldn't have had as many assets and resources as they did have. But now that they do have them, they're looking to carry this game, and they're doing a pretty good job as of now. As we do see the Dragon coming up in 30 seconds, which should be our next huge fight. We do see a bit of ward coverage, as we see a lot of wards on Red Team here. You can just see there. I can count at least 6 wards on my minimap now that are that need to be taken out in order to do anything about this. We see a huge ward that they could use for TP flank here in the back of the red pit here. Red Spectre could use this to TP back into this fight, but Arcane does decide to TP to the blue pit as they go, and blue team are the first team here to get to the Dragon. So they started up.
Yeah, blue team looking to start it. They do have the control ward on the pit, as the Call of the Forge God is popped by Red Spectre, blocked by Dirty Threshy, as we do see the Glacial Fisher come down here. Bullet Time does connect, and they do kill Cassiopeia, and they kill Weighted Pair. And it's triple kill from Misfortune. Ezreal, you're fucking dead. Ragnar taken super low, and we do see Red Spectre on his own here. And this is the fight blue team are looking for.
JC goes off huge on the Vladimir there. He gets all of his damage down, and the bullet time there is just so impactful. We see a 17 kill misfortune there, just going to town on the backline. Dakin couldn't do anything about it, and they just die. And they can maybe look to get an inhibitor there. They are fighting against super minions, but they do pick up the soul, and they do pick up a 3-for-2 one fight.
My God, this is what they were looking for. I know Misfortune died at the end there, but that was very nice. They got soul out of it, which is such a huge spike for them right now anyway.
Yeah.
As we do see a 45-minute Elder, maybe we get that far. We might not, because Nash is spawning in 2 seconds, and if I were Red Team right now, I'd be looking straight for that as quickly as I could.
Yeah, I don't think Blue Team's going to have enough time here. Funeral Witch might be caught in a bad position, but he does get over fairly easily, as they may look to start this Baron that I don't think is the right decision, so they will peel off it immediately. But Postman Pat now respawning. They could look to take another fight with those 4 Cloud Dragons. They have all of their ultimates back up. They could look to take another fight once Funeral Witch resets, but they need to get the right fight again.
Yeah, and they do have the AD carry up, they do have the support up this time, all their ults up already, and I think Blue Team are in a much better position now. They have that ultimate cooldown reduction, everything just up. As the call of the Forge God comes down here, Postman Pat might just be caught out. Dirty Thresh, he did block the ulti, Redemption coming down, Guardian Angel Force be popped as the Cataclysm locks Disco, Dakin and Weighted Pair. Dakin is down. We do see Ragnar quite low fighting Postman Pat. A Misfortune does go down to Ragnar unfortunately, as does Arcane, but Ragnar does fall down. 3 dead for Red Team, and Red Team are going to try and take down Red Spectre here. He's a bit tanky, but he doesn't have that much damage as he takes down Dirty Threshy, and Morgana falls, and that's the ace for Blue Team.
The ace for Blue Team could spell the end of the game for Arcane's Angels here. They pull off a huge fight. Postman Pat with the GA is able to stall for so long. Ragnar has no other purpose than just free hitting onto this Misfortune, who survives for so long in this fight, and the 40-second cooldown on the deaths here mean that should be the end of the game here, and Team Dirty Pikey should be able to go to the final here, completing a reverse sweep over 2 different streams. They've come back from the last games. They were 2-1 down, and they've come up huge here, and they will finish off this series and be your Quantex Captain's Draft finalists.
Well played, Dirty Pikey's team. Finally found the fight they were looking for and took it to base. Well played.
Yeah, we will look at the damage graphs here on stream as we see the Ezreal impact just isn't enough. You know, he does all the damage in the game. He comes back from, a farming lane as he does eat quite a bit of jungle pressure, but he's just not able to carry this game. And the Vladimir, it goes so far behind, but at some stages you just don't outskill a Vladimir as he gets all of his pulls off, all of his ults off, and he's able to have so much impact in this game. And it's pretty huge now that we can say that it will be Team Dirty Pikey against Team Put Bacon on Vegan in the finals of Quantex Captain's Draft.
Yeah, very well played at the very end. Still, again, a very scrappy series and an extremely scrappy game. Very back and forth for the majority of that, but we do end up seeing Dirty Pikey's team going through to the final to face Connor G123, not Connor G, to face Put Bacon and Vegan's team in the final. Guavo, MVP.
MVP time. It's a really hard one to call. I think we see a 17 kill Misfortune here who was able to stall for so long in that last fight, along with just being able to go to town with those bullet times. I think I can't really look past Postman Pat in this series, to be honest, but I'd like to know your opinion.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to argue with it for Postman Pat, but I just think throughout the whole series, I know Suck for Blood has been pretty good for a couple of these games, and I know that Funeral Witch played incredibly well this game in particular, but I think throughout the entire series, the really consistent player who brought it to Red Blue Team, albeit maybe a couple of misfortune notes along the way, had to have been Postman Pat, and I think he deserves MVP for this.
Yeah, so for those reasons alone, we're going to give Postman Pat or Quantex semifinals MVP here. Now, I don't know if he'd want to, but I was going to look to get a interview, but I don't think he's actually around. If you could ask him, that'd be nice, but I don't know if he'd want to.
Who?
Pat.
Who? Oh, Pat. Let me see. I have the guy. I'll ask Pat.
You can ask him if you want.
I can ask him now.
I got a few requests.
Do post game
If not, we could just ask Arcane to get his thoughts on the game. Jesus, Arcane, that's a bit weird, man. Interview Dakin? I don't think Dakin will want to. I think he's alt at forward life, to be honest.
Let's see. I'm just waiting on the response now to see what he says.
Yeah. I mean, in the meantime, if Arcane wants to jump onto banter, we can drag him down and get his thoughts if he's here. Either way, we'll kind of take anyone as long as you were in the game. We do want some. Oh yeah. See, Arcane's in banter. You can drag him down.
Okay, I'll drag Arcane down. Move to this one. Here it is.
Arcane, welcome to the stream. Oh no, he's crying. Arcane, are you okay, man? How do you feel about coming out of that game?
Sorry, say that again?
How do you feel about that game coming out of it? What do you think went wrong for you?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm gutted to lose, but I mean, I think. Oh, what went wrong? I mean, I think everyone made many mistakes. We got caught out. We didn't have like a clear team comp playstyle in mind, and then like didn't stick to it. So, you know, there are many reasons why we lost. I don't want to say it came down to that last fight, but everyone played really well though on my team. At some point or another, everyone played well. They gave their best. I can't say anything bad about my team.
Yeah. As far as your performance yourself goes, do you think that you played adequately? Do you think that you could have carried more, or do you think that this was down to a bit of comp diff and a bit of just team in general?
I mean, this game, the first like 30 minutes, I think I played really well. I was like 100 CS up on Vlad, and like I doubled the CS at like 8 minutes or something. So I think I was like, I think I did really well in lane. It's this team comp is so hard to play into. Like, who am I gonna attack there? Like, Jarvan jumps on you and then you get MF ulted. Like, it was really difficult to play the team fights here. And I think I didn't play those the best. Like, there was one fight, if you watch it back, I literally flash in and die instantly, like to the combo, which was really terrible. As far as the other games go, I mean, game 1 and 2 were good. Like, Kassadin game was bad. I can't remember game 4. What was game 4?
Game 4 was the game before this. I believe you were playing Victor into Kassadin.
That was rough. Obviously, could have played it better. You can always say that, but I don't know. It's really hard. It's hard to abuse Kassadin as Victor.
Yeah. We were talking about your draft prior to the game, and we know that you played Kassadin in game 3, I believe. The first game that you lost. And do you think that you could have been able to pick it up here, or do you think that the Cassiopeia was the right way to go regardless?
I'm just a lot more comfortable on Cassio. And I mean, I think it was the right way. Like, I really think that Vlad didn't have that much impact this game. Like I think if the game hadn't dragged out as long, it would have been fine. But like for most of that game, he was just AFK farming. So I think the circumstances aligned that he was able to do a lot later on, but like I think I think this was. I'm very happy with the Cassia pick. I think it like played pretty well later on.
Yeah, he played very well early.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a better Kassadin than me. I can say that though. My Kassadin performance in the other game was kind of int, and he went 10-2 in his game. So it's probably maybe I didn't want to bring out a champion that he's probably used to playing against a lot in the mid lane, because it's like one of the hardest counties.
Yeah. So we will go to other contestants here, but we would like to thank Arcane for his participation in this interview. Thanks, Arcane, for coming along.
No problem. And you're giving that like, check for the fifth game, right? It's coming my way.
The check is coming, man. Don't worry about it.
All right. Coming in semi-finalist, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arcane, for coming along.
Okay, no problem. Bye-bye.
See you.
See you, dude. Okay, I'll move him in.
Who we bringing?
I'll bring Postman Pat and Dardar coming in.
Sure. You can take the lead here if you want.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Go on, man.
Hello, lads. You're just after winning Quantex semi-final number 2 and are going on to face Connor G 123's team. What do you think about that?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, some really good games so far, yeah.
We noticed in game 1 of that series that Dakin was running around like Joey Exotic, Yumi on his back. So we decided to ban that, and then we can only play MF, so we decided to pick that, and that's what won the series.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, man.
Yeah, I saw the Yumi got banned anyway every game since, wasn't it?
Yeah, fuck that champion. Who wants to play against that?
I would like to.
The first game we like inted against Yumi, and then what was that? The second game? I don't remember. The second game we just in the bot lane on Caitlyn and Morg, was it?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
Then I had to break out to Soraka. I didn't want to do that. I had to do it.
Didn't want to do it, no.
Didn't really want to do it. Kleptomancy has been removed from the game, so Soraka is no longer viable.
Ah, yeah. That's how you tend to do it, right? That's how everyone plays Soraka with the Klepto back in the day. I would like to congratulate Postman Pat on the MVP for this series. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Very honoured. Can I do a shout out?
Sure, no problem.
This guy, he's called best ADC in Ireland, and it is OVK.
Hey,
This is former coach of OVK99 Postman Pat in the Discord call, by the way.
So we do see now a final between Postman Pat or Team Dirty Pikey and Team Put Bacon on Vegan. Lads, how do you fancy your chances in the final?
I honestly, this semi-final was the final in all of our eyes. They're pretty free, pretty garbage.
Yeah, trash. Shitbags.
Big words there, boys. So you think that you have it easy in the final?
Yeah, we're going to practice 3
Honestly, every lane is kind of free.
We're going to practice 3 different 80 carries just so we're prepared for the MF ban.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't think I can't see that MF going further than Champ Select, but I would like to thank Dare and Postman Pat for coming along for interviews, lads. Thanks very much for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, lads.
Cheers, lads.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, good luck to you in your final.
yeah, of course. So we will have to part ways there, but we will see a final between Team Dirty Pikey and Team Dirty Pikey and Put Bacon on Vegan coming up as soon as we can get it going. So for now, I believe that is all we have. But when we come back in some amount of days, we will have a final between Put Bacon on Vegan and Team Dirty Pikey. I would like to thank Oshin as well for coming along for a co-cast. That's very kind. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks a lot for having me, Mr. Scrab.
Of course. And with that, we will end the stream there. Thanks for watching, everyone. And we will go again sometime soon. So thanks.